Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are San Diego.
Beautiful view just south of downtown Atlanta, the site of the 1996 Olympic Games. It's Turner Field, home of the Braves. And the Braves were beaten last night 5-2 by the Padres, and Tommy Medica led the way with 4 hits, 7 consecutive hits to tie a Padre record. Watch out, Justin Upton. He's been a long-time nemesis of the Padres. 18 home runs. He leads the Braves in home runs and RBIs this year. As we welcome you to Atlanta, it's the middle, not the middle game. It's a 4-game series. This being game 2. The Padres now 46 and 56. The Braves, Atlanta is now trailing the Washington Nationals in second place in the National League East. And welcome aboard with Mark Grant, Dick Enberg. A happy Saturday to you. The Padres enjoying a winning ways. They're 5-2 since the All-Star break.
And how about the offense? It's been an up and down year, and more down than up as far as offense is concerned. Because the San Diego Padres, starting back in Chicago, getting hits in bunches. So we're going to break it down, folks. The last 6 games, look at the average. The previous 6. In fact, if we could just erase that previous 6, but the numbers are great. Slugging is up 5, almost 6 runs per game, Mr. Enberg. And then runners in scoring position, 283. Using the whole field, being aggressive, working good hitters counts, and hitting with runners in scoring position. That is huge. It's contagious. Guys are feeling comfortable at the plate, and that is a huge thing for this Padre ball club.
Well, you know how I like that scoring first statistic. They've scored first 5 of the 7 games since the break. They won those 5 games, and they're scoring in the first inning.
Absolutely. That's a big key because it puts the pressure on the other team. I don't care how good the other team is. It puts pressure on them. Hopefully it begins again tonight against the Braves.
Well, the Cuban fireballer, Despagne is on the mound. The last time out last Sunday, almost pitched a no-hitter.
I don't care who's he pitching against. Despagne is just dazzling the opposing hitters. And last Sunday against the New York Mets, he footed with the no-hitter for 7 2/3. How is he doing it? Staying out of the heart of the plate, flipping up the slow curveball, going up and out of the zone on the changeup, and the fans loved it. The tip of the cap, well-deserved for Despagne. Hopefully he carries over today against Julio Teheran.
Oh, this guy is really tough at home. He's one of the power pitchers in the National League and only 23.
A homegrown Brave. This guy loves to pound the zone. He's got above average stuff, max effort type guy, and look at the company he's in. Going down to Greg Maddox, 1998 with that ERA. He is a good one. It's going to be a challenge. Hopefully they can continue like the way they've been swinging the bats in Chicago and the first game here in Atlanta.
Well, based on the pitching matchup, it looks to me that we might see a real tight one, a 2-1 kind of game.
Yeah, you know, if both guys are on their game, this could be a quick game. It could be a low-scoring game. Who's going to make the mistake? It's going to boil down to doing the little things possibly.
Right. Well, we're down south for game 2 of the 4-game series, but the news coming up next is going up yonder, and Chris Budd will have that one for you as we welcome you back to Turner Field Baseball in Atlanta.
Welcome back to Atlanta. Game 2 between the Braves and the Padres. And a familiar face rejoining the clubhouse today, Yonder Alonso, coming off the 15-day disabled list. He's been there since June 19th, had some tendonitis in his right wrist. Here is a look at the move. So he's been reinstated off the DL. With that, Jake Gobert gets option to El Paso. Well, now that Yonder's back, he's hoping that he can add to that offensive power we've seen from the Padres recently.
Obviously, for me, being a guy that uses the whole field, the line drive approach, I need my hands. There's no question about it. So for me, it was knowing mentally and physically that I can put those swings out there. I can make adjustments throughout the swing and throughout the pitch and obviously throughout the at-bat. And it was tough, but, we got through it. And now, we got hopefully a healthy 2 months of the season, so knock on wood.
And that is your Geico quote of the game. He made 7 rehab stints, and he's excited to be back in the clubhouse as they try and stay hot against Julio Teheran. We've got first pitch coming up from Atlanta on Fox Sports San Diego.
Number, they've won 8 of the last 10 between the two teams and 7 of the previous 8 games, including last night's 5-2 win. Let's go to our keys to the game. A little drum roll because Mark Grant has been red hot. This is almost mystic. You predicted.
Well, I don't want to take all the credit, Professor, because you kind of helped me out yesterday, and you once again helped me out today. So the keys to the game brought to you by the Honda dealers of San Diego County. First inning fire. You mentioned it in our game open. How the Padres at 5 of the last 7 games they've scored first. The Padres have gone on to win.
And in the first inning, the last 3.
That's correct. And then at no extra outs for the Braves. Padres have to play clean, crisp baseball. Don't throw away the baseball. Don't give them extra outs, especially against a guy like Teheran, who's going to be, it's going to be a challenge. But also it's going to be a challenge for these Braves hitters as well, facing our guy, Despaigne.
But Black has set his lineup. Padres jumping on the lead early. 2 games in Chicago, and again last night to win their last 3. ALEXI AMARISTA will lead off. Toyota brings you this starting lineup tonight. Jan, he said, that's okay. You can call me Jan Solarte at second. Seth Smith, the top hitter, back in the lineup, batting third. YASMANI GRANDAL, the cleanup hitter behind the plate. Will Venable, 3 for 5 against Teheran in their meetings prior. Tommy Medica, can he keep that hot shillelagh going? Yonder Alonso back in the lineup and hitting 7th tonight. Chris Nelson at third base hits 8th, and Despaigne in the 9th slot.
And on the mound for the Atlanta Braves, right-hander Julio Teheran. Fastball. Yeah, he can get up there about 94. He lives around 92, 93, but he can locate it as well. He's got the slider, curveball, changeup. He's got very live stuff. Max Everett type guy coming right after these Padre hitters. Good numbers.
Just 23 years from Cartagena, Colombia. Let's take a look at the Braves defense, brought to you by Honda. Upton and Upton, Justin and BJ in left and center, Jason Hayward in right. Johnson, Simmons, La Stella, Freeman, same lineup as last night, used by Freddie Gonzalez, and Evan Gattis behind the plate for Teheran. Beautiful Georgia evening here in the capital city of the Peach State. 90 degrees at the start. It's supposed to be just a bit cooler Sunday and Monday, but not much. But no weather in the forecast, and that's the good news. Paul Nart calls the balls and strikes tonight. The rest of the crew, Morales at first, Hernandez at second, and Vanover, the crew chief, at third.
You know, with the way the Padres have been playing, Dick, isn't it kind of exciting to, you want to get to the ball yard, you want to get the game started, you want to get on a roll. That's what's going on in that Padre clubhouse. That's what's going on the bench. Hopefully they can carry it over to game 2 of this series.
Yeah, you could feel the vibe in the clubhouse, couldn't you? And with just a different kind of confidence, more smiles, more relaxed. It was tough the first half of the season. Everyone will agree. Difficult to digest for everyone. Amarista hitting lead off at 2:30. Got to lock the doors now. Play about to begin. With Solarte and then Smith to follow. First 5 hitters in the lineup against Teheran will bat from the left side. And we're underway. And a line drive over the head of second baseman La Stella. No, he able to pick that off. It was out in the shadows there for a moment. We thought that had skipped into right field, but Amarista denied on a line out to second. And here comes Jan Solarte. Had a chat with him, asked him whether he was left-handed, right-handed. He said, well, I write right-handed, but I eat left and right-handed.
Well, that's most important, right?
Acquired from the Yankees in the Headley deal earlier this week.
You know, you mentioned it's okay to call him Jan. I was thinking YANGERVIS, right? I was thinking Hair. Call him Harry. Harry Solarte. But I guess we'll stick with Jan.
Big swing at a high fastball, 0-2. Now we've got a Jan and a Yaz and a Jan.
That's right.
Yonder Alonso, Yasmani, Grandal, and Jan Solarte. YANGERVIS. Foul tip, strike 3, and Teheran takes care of Solarte on 3 pitches. Tough time for the hitters here. It's just after 7 o'clock in Georgia. Lots of shadows and sunlight in center field.
So Julio Teheran going uno, dos, adios on the straight fastball. Elevated just a little bit, held on by Evan Gattis.
Hitting third, Seth Smith, Padres top hitter, at 293. You see the hitter in shadows, easily defined, and the pitcher in that backdrop bleached out behind him, and that's what the hitter looks through. Ball 1. Smith, the leader in every significant offensive category: runs, hits, walks, triples, doubles, average, home runs, RBIs,
nose hairs. Remember Major League? Remember? Also leads the league.
I didn't quite store that one in my memory bank.
He also leads the league in nose hairs.
Who was that, Euchre?
That was Vukovic, who played first base. Clue Hayward.
2-0 now to Smith. Fouled at the plate. Teheran, somebody did a good job of scouting. Picked him out of Columbia at age 16. 6'2", willowy 200. 23 years of age. Last year was 14-8 with a solid ERA 3.20, 4th best among major league rookies. Even a better year this season. Goes for his 10th win.
He's got that good frame, Dick. He's lanky. See the long arms and long legs? You know, you get a lot of momentum going towards home plate. Free and easy arm action. Ball jumps out of his hand.
Lowest ERA by pitchers currently under 24. Teheran qualifies, he's 23. He's right at the top of the list. Alex Wood, the Padres put a dent in his ERA last night, getting 5 runs off him in 5 innings. 2-2 to Smith. And he comes up with a slider that bends inside. 3-2.
Seth Smith's probably going to get challenged with a fastball right here. Remember, he had Solarte with 2 strikes, threw him a fastball. And Evan Gattis, fastball in, shook off, fastball away right here.
And it's lined in the gap in left center field. Will it get through? No, cut off by Justin Upton. And Smith has to put on the brakes as he rounds first base with the Padres' first hit. No, Seth Smith continues to wield a solid bat.
Hey, remember Thursday in Chicago, 2 outs in the first inning. They end up scoring 2 runs, and that was led off by a strikeout, a line to 9, and then Seth Smith singled to left field. What do you know? So maybe a little 2-out thunder here.
Catcher Yasmani Grandal, 9 home runs. Off speed, breaking pitch drops in. All 9 home runs coming from the left side. .90-mile-an-hour fastball misses. Braves start tonight 2.5 behind Washington in the National League East. Padres are 10.5 back of San Francisco, leading the Dodgers by only half game. And the Giants picked up former Padre right-hander Jake Peavy in a trade, trying to fortify their rotation with the injury to Matt Cain. 2 balls and a strike to Grandal. Good cut.
Well, you know that Teheran is going to challenge these Padre hitters. Why do I say that? Because in 143 in the 3rd innings pitched going into this ballgame, he's only walked 31. He's going to be around the plate. He's going to come right after you. Only 116 hits in those innings. He's only allowed 15 home runs in 21 starts prior to tonight. So he's having an all-around good year.
Well, there's a batting average against .221. That's the 4th best in the National League. Don't expect to get many runs off him. You got to take advantage of every opportunity. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Stays alive. Padres with a 5-2 win last night. Will Venable waits his turn. Tomorrow it will be Eric Stoltz against Mike Minor, a battle of left-handers. 1:30 our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. Monday, a day game. Will be on the air at 9 in the morning in San Diego. Ian Kennedy and Irvin Santana matched up. Kennedy trying to level his record at 9-9. He has pitched magnificently
he has.
last month and a half. High in the air on the infield, and second baseman Stella wants it. And that'll be it for the Padres. B.J. Upton will lead off the first for the Braves.
6 no-hit innings. Got it! Seven no-hit innings for Odrisamer Despaigne.
And Despaigne last Sunday would go 7 2/3, 4 outs away from becoming the first ever Padre to throw a no-hit, no-run game. All 5 of his starts have been outstanding, allowing 2 or less runs. In 4 of those, 1 or no runs. And here's the Atlanta Braves lineup against Despaigne. B.J. Upton, same as last night. Tommy La Stella, Freddie Freeman had a triple and a single last night. Justin Upton, the power man in the heart of that lineup. Jason Hayward, right field, bats 5th. Evan Gattis has a ton of home runs again this year, 16. Chris Johnson, he too can go long, 8 home runs. Andrelton Simmons hits 8th, and Julio Teheran 9th.
And the scouting report for the Cuban-born right-hander. Keep them off balance like he has done in his previous starts. He is, quite frankly, folks, he's putting on a clinic. You want to know what pitching is all about? Buckle in, get yourself a social sparkler, and enjoy Odrisamer Despaign's outing this evening.
B.J. Upton takes a strike. Well, this is a lineup that'll challenge Despaigne. No less than 5 Braves have 40 RBIs or more, and 2 of them over 50. Weak wave, and it's 0-2.
Well, there are some certainties, I should say, that you're going to see when Despaigne is on the mound. He's going to give you 6 or 7 innings. He's going to give you 110 pitches, and he's going to give up very few runs. I mean, that's the numbers don't lie. It's been fun to watch.
Outside, 2-1. And his pitching here at the big league level just belies what sampling the Padres got after signing him back in the spring. Defected in Paris, signed him last July. But in 7 minor league starts, he was 1-3 with an ERA over 6. That's in there, strike 3. 4 pitches, and Upton takes a walk.
Location of the fastball is always key, and keep an eye on the velocity. That was the 2-seamer coming right back on the outside corner to get Upton. Remember, Despaigne, he'll live around 90, 91. He'll even hit 92 once in a while, but if he needs a little extra, he'll reach back. We've seen him hit 95 on that fastball.
Tommy La Stella, the rookie from St. John's University, hitting 276. And he takes a strike. Variety of arm angles, variety of speeds on each pitch. He'll change on the fastball. He'll change on the curve.
He's a smorgasbord of pitches, right?
I mean, he's a full plate, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Did he go? No. 1-1.
And he goes back for 3rds and 4ths. Why not?
Could get the Mud Grant Award.
If it's good eating, keep going back.
That's right. If it's free, take 3. Inside, 2-1. La Stella replacing Dan Uggla, who was carved off the lineup of the Braves a couple of weeks ago and is now a member of the Giants. They called him up. He's in a Giants uniform this weekend against the Dodgers. Three and 1. Oh, he lost him. That's been part of his success in his first 5 starts. Not many walks. Padres defense tonight brought to you by the Aramco Group. They line up this way in the outfield. Medica in left, Venable in center, and Smith the right fielder. Nelson and Amarista on the left side. Solarte at second. Alonso back in the lineup at first. Grandal behind the plate for fellow Cuban Odrisamer Despaigne. Freddie Freeman checks in at 283. 0-1. No shift with the man on first base. Freeman, the most valuable player for the Braves last year. Only 24 from Fountain Valley. High fly ball, center field. Venable waiting for it to come down. Boy, that's carrying, huh? No tag, so 2 away, and STELLA returns to first. Freeman just missed that one.
You know, it seems like Despaigne, when he throws the fastball, the softer he throws it. He threw one at Freddie Freeman for ball 1 at 89, but it had more movement. The more velocity on the fastball, the straighter it is. They saved the best stuff for last if he's going to go for a strikeout.
Left fielder Justin Upton. Look at those numbers. 286, 18 home runs, leads the team. Tops in RBIs as well at 58. And he's been especially toured with a stick the last 18 games. 9 of those 18 with 2 hits or more.
Tell you what, Jesse Hahn really did a number on him last night. Kept him over. He had a sacrifice fly there in the 6th, but he pitched him very, very well.
Jesse Hahn, another outstanding effort. Allowed only 1 run and 3 hits. 6 innings. That's in there. 1-1. The Braves have lost 4 of 5. There's Jesse Hahn. Virginia Tech with Andrew Kashner, a horn frog and a Hokie. I wonder if they talk the same language. Good old baseball.
Yeah.
2-1. And with his 2nd save of the year, Joaquin Benoit, and a happy birthday to Benoit. Turned 37. Well, we had a late bus, lots of traffic. So after midnight, the boys in the back of the bus were serenading Benoit with a happy birthday.
That was nice, wasn't it?
It really was. He went. 2-2.
I like that call. More times than not, they go. Paul Nart behind home plate. He was all over it.
You could not afford, if Mark Grant was an umpire, as a hitter, to have any tick.
Yeah.
You know, a little twitch.
Hey, that's an offer.
That's a strike.
That's right.
2-2. Now he dropped down from the side and threw that curveball. And does strike out a lot. 106 times he's been punched out.
I like that shot there. It really gives you a good indication how far the ball is off the plate or if it's on the corner.
No score. We're in the bottom of the 1st, just underway here in Atlanta tonight. Pleased you've joined us, and hope you'll be around tomorrow at 1:30 Pacific time for Game 3. Hey, that
couple of weak swings.
66 miles an hour. Pulled the string on the curveball.
Yeah, did you see how far out the momentum from Upton as he's going towards the pitcher's mound, trying to stay back? But this breaking ball here, he's lunging, and then all upper body, waiting for that ball to travel. 2 weak swings on the breaking balls from Odrisamer.
So did he come back with the fastball up in the letters?
You know, that's a good call, Dick. A good fastball on the inside part of the plate.
Make sure it's not in the heart of the plate.
Right. Might go down and away right here.
Breaking ball, strike 3. A couple of strikeouts for Despaigne. He's back in form. No score here in Atlanta after 1. It's time now for you to tweet your photo. Use hashtag SDFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in our telecast. Brought to you by AT&T. No scores. We move to the top of the second inning. Yonder Alonso, he must be eager to get a bat in his hands. Another chance in the big leagues. He's due to hit third here in the second. Venable, then Medica and Alonso. Well, tomorrow, big day. Cooperstown Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. It'll begin at 1:30 here in the East. 10:30 back home. We're going to show the ceremonies on the big screen here at Turner Field, inviting fans to come early. More than mean interest in the affairs here in Atlanta, in that Bobby Cox, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, and even Joe Torre was a manager of the Braves before Cox. And Frank Thomas is a Georgian.
That's a great one. Hey, that's a good day in Cooperstown for the state of Georgia and the Braves. You bet.
I think La Russa, as a player, might have had a cup of coffee in Atlanta. Yeah, he did. So there's every inductee. That pitch is in there, 2-1 to Venable, who hopes to continue his good hitting against Turan, who doesn't allow many hitters success, but Venable in 2 games, 3 for 5 and a home run. And he looks at ball 3, 3-1.
Well, this is what we have seen during the offense of the Padres in their winning the games in Chicago, winning last night. Working hitters counts 3-1. Being patient for a good pitch. Looks like here comes a fastball away.
And a good cut by Venable. Full count. 22nd start for Turan. He pitched on the Sunday before the All-Star game, much like Tyson Ross, so didn't get a chance to work in the All-Star game. And he gets Venable to go by on a half swing. Fastball. Second strikeout. Time now for the top tier player profile. It's brought to you by Arco, and it salutes the Hall of Famer Tom Glavine. Those are the credentials that get you to Cooperstown. 305 wins, 2 Cy Youngs, 5 years, 20 or more wins. World Series MVP, 12th all-time in career starts.
And people tend to forget that Tom Glavine, his first year in the big leagues, lost 17 games.
Terrific athlete. Some felt that he could have made it very high in hockey had he decided to stay.
Yeah, was drafted by the LA Kings same year.
Tommy Medica. Shot to short. Simmons able to glove it on the grass and throw him out. But Medica continues to make solid contact. Just didn't get it away from the glove of the shortstop Simmons.
That's a good point, Dick. But when you're swinging the bat extremely well like Tommy, hey, keep hacking. Nothing you can do about that. Even the ground balls have been hit hard. The shift. Barrel of the bat going through the hitting zone. A nice even plane there. Hitting it just below the sweet spot, but it still sounded good.
First pitch to Alonso. He couldn't wait to hack. And he sends it to left fielder Justin Upton for the out as Turan retires the side in order in the second. No score here at Turner Field, Atlanta.
The tools of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. And as a hitter, you're always taught to look for a release point on a pitcher out of the hand, right? Well, Odrisamer Despaigne tries to disrupt that. Look at on the far left, the arm angle, a little bit more up top in the middle on the fastball. And then he'll drop down. Oh, the old number 2 gets you guessing. Very tough to look at that consistent release point. He tries to mix it up. He keeps him off balance, not only with the speeds of pitches and different variety of pitches, but the arm angle as well. And it's paid off.
Jason Hayward leads off the second, takes ball 1. And 2-0. Along with the 6 players and managers being inducted tomorrow, the other honorees will go through those after this pitch. That one deep down the right field corner, foul. The broadcast award, the Ford Frick, goes to Eric Nadell, a longtime announcer with the Texas Rangers. The Writers Award, the J.G. Taylor Spink, to the great Roger Angel. He was arguably the best ever baseball writer, many essays with the New Yorker magazine. And then Joe Garagiola receives the Buck O'Neill Award, basically a Lifetime Achievement Award, a devotion to baseball. Joe Garagiola. Ground ball to first, foul.
Boy, Dick, you just mentioning his name, Joe Garagiola, takes me back to my childhood. And that was just, you know, I never saw him play as a player. He was always an announcer and working on the Today Show, right? He was the best. Just so versatile. He was a guy's guy. He was the good friend next door. He did it so extremely well all the way around.
Amen. Out of play. But not for Joe. We probably wouldn't salute the wonderful humor of Yogi Berra. They grew up on the hill there in St. Louis together, and anytime there was a malaprop of any sort or confused statement, it was always credited to Yogi.
Yeah.
Just thinking about Yogi and some of the things. I'm sure he didn't come up with all of them, but who cares?
Yeah.
There's the slow curveball, and Hayward earns a leadoff walk. Second given up by Despaigne, so he's not off to the overwhelming start that he had on Sunday. Here's the lineup. LaRusse upper left, Bobby Cox upper right. For their managerial careers, Greg Maddux. Could anyone spot the ball better than him? Big Frank Thomas, Tom Glavine, Joe Torre. And people forget Torre, they think of him only as the manager of the Yankees. He managed the Braves, and he was National League batting champion with the St. Louis Cardinals. That ball is hit well by Gaddis, deep to right field. A long run out there, and Smith can't get it. It bounces into the seats. A ground rule double. So a walk and a double, and the Braves in business here in the last of the second inning.
Evan Gaddis is some kind of strong. That looked like a cut fastball or a slider, and look how he stays on it. Hands first, barrel to follow. Oh, look at the rosin off the bat on contact. What a great shot that is. And Gaddis plays a little pepper of the warning track out in right center field for the ground rule double. That is some kind of strong.
That's a break for the Padres. The ball bounced into the seats because Hayward would have scored had it stayed in play. So second and third, first hit off Despaigne is a big one, a double Gaddis. Here's Chris Johnson, the third baseman. Infield will play back, except for Alonso bag high at first. And a chopper to third, and the run will score as Nelson throws out Johnson. It's 1-0 Atlanta. Credit Chris Johnson with his 43rd run batted in. And the leadoff walk becomes a run.
And it's still early enough to where if you're a pitcher, you say to yourself, okay, gave up the walk, gave up the double. I've got some serious work to do. I'll sacrifice that run. I got an out. It's not a base hit. It's not a double. 2 runs haven't scored. There's still a runner at second base. Despaigne has proven in his short time in the big leagues he's worked himself out of some jams. 1 run, fine.
That brings up the shortstop Simmons, hitting .258. Gaddis still at second base. That's a strike as he hits the outside edge. Here's your number 8 hitter with 33 runs batted in. That's more than any Padre, full-time Padre. Solarte, if you add his 31 in New York, with 3 as a Padre, has 34.
A nice job by YASMANI GRANDAL behind the plate, keeping Gaddis at second base on that breaking ball in the dirt.
The pitcher, Tehran, is on deck. Not a bad hitter. Line to right, slicing foul.
Hey, Simmons doesn't get cheated. That's why actually he feels more comfortable in the number 8 spot than he did when he was hitting the number 2 spot for a while with the Braves. You know, a number 2 hitter, you got to be a little bit more patient, maybe use the whole field, and maybe a different type of approach. But Andrelton Simmons, he likes to swing it and feeling very comfortable in the number 8 spot.
Product of Curacao, Netherlands Antilles. Foul tip, strike 3, and he doesn't strike out often. That's a big strikeout when you consider Simmons' career. He's the 2nd toughest in the National League to strike out.
And it was the sweeping breaking ball from OD. Oh, he's got his eye on it. Boy, hips are open up just off the end of the bat. All upper body, and this will give us another look at the plane, the break. Breaking down on those legs.
And bottom dropped out of that pitch. Swing and a miss by Tehran. 5 hits this year and 3 runs batted in. He's got a teammate out at second base with 2 outs.
Hey, if he can get out of this Espana with only giving up 1 run, I'll take that.
Chop to the left side. AMARISTA, boy, that took a funny hop. Throws him out. It hit the edge of the grass and kicked high, but AMARISTA stayed with it. 1 run on 1 hit. Braves take the early lead. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball. Brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. Thrive. By Petco. The power of together. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. Young and old. Baseball time in Atlanta on this Saturday night. And the Braves have the first run. A leadoff walk pays off for them. Padre fans in Chicago at Wrigley Field aplenty, and Many here to root for San Diego and Atlanta as well.
You betcha. It's good to see you in the house. Speaking of house of pain, jump around. Hopefully Padre fans are jumping around during this game. Winning game 2 of the series.
Top of the third, it'll be Chris Nelson, the pitcher Despaigne and Amarista against Julio Teheran. He's made 30 starts. And Atlanta's 20-10. Nelson 6'4", 25 since being called up to the big club. Fouls it away. Beautiful ballpark, and yet it's not going to have much of a life. Barely through its teenage years. They're going to build a new baseball park north of the city. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, Dick,
2 more years here, and that's it.
Yeah, and you were here for the Olympics, correct?
Yeah.
96. So if my math is correct, 2016 would make it carry the 1, divide by 8, 20, right?
Well,
it would be 20 in 2015, right?
Well, 20 in 2016.
Right. So my first guess was right. 2016.
Right.
Yeah.
The point being that only 2 more years of baseball here. What's wrong with this ballpark?
I was talking to some people with the Braves. They said it's possibly the site of Georgia State football.
Well, they could, accommodate them for football. You could restructure the field, I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good Major League Park. Nelson sends it to right field. Jason Hayward out there in a splash of sunlight to make the catch. 1 away. Time for our Fan Diego fan of the game. Well, fans, as they remembered Tony, win for Gwynn. Rest in peace, Mr. Puck. Thank you, gentlemen. Well, Despaigne is 0 for 9, and it'll be an upset this year if he doesn't go for whatever. Likes to take a look at that first pitch.
Yeah.
And when he does take a hack, it resembles somebody out in the. Hey. How about that? Make me a liar. A line drive out. Well, he's getting closer, making contact. Didn't get a lot of chances to swing the bat in the Cuban League.
I'm just anxious to see the smiles and the looks in the dugout when Driesemeier goes back to the dugout.
And we have to get the towels out and fan him here. He's hot.
But he's like, hey, way to swing it.
2 away to Amarista. Lined out to the second baseman to open the ball game. They're on with 6 straight outs since the single by Smith with 2 outs in the first. 1-1.
You know, that 92 kind of looks like it's 96, doesn't it? It kind of creeps up on the hitters and gets by them quickly.
Judging from their reactions, they're late pulling the trigger. Two balls, 2 strikes to ALEXI. Had an infield hit and 4 at-bats last night. That'll slice into the crowd down the left field side. Yeah, our apologies. We were hoping that Mike D might arrange for a private jet so we could fly back to San Diego for that big party for Ron Fowler tonight. But yeah, budgets are budgets.
I'll bet you that's one heck of a party.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's one I'd like to attend.
You bet. Well, we were invited. You just couldn't make it. Up the middle, and Simmons with that beautiful glove work denies Amarista. 3 up, 3 down in the third. 1-0 Atlanta.
In the lineup, Buddy Black put Tommy Medica out in left field. With the way that he's been hitting recently, you definitely want to get Tommy's bat in that lineup. And Buddy said going forward, you could see him play as many times in left field as he's been playing in first base. And we talked about the record setting yesterday of 7 straight hits, tying Tony Gwynn's record. And anytime you're going to tie Mr. Padre in the record books, you definitely know you've been hitting the ball pretty well.
Yeah, he was honored to learn that indeed his name would be next to Tony Gwynn. 7 players in franchise history with 7 consecutive hits, Tommy being the 7th. And Tony Gwynn the last before Medica's performance, the last 2 games.
And you can just see the confidence starting to grow with Tommy Medica with each at bat and going out there. So very versatile. Plugging him in, different positions.
B.J. Upton struck out, took a 3rd strike to open the 1st inning. 1-1 the count. Yeah, it was weather very much like this in 1996 when the Olympic Games opened here in Atlanta. And the great one, Muhammad Ali, honored with lighting the torch. And even though we were covering the event and it was my responsibility working with Bob Costas to call the opening ceremonies, no one knew, no one told us who it was going to be. Right field, that's going to be a tough chance, and Smith has to play it on a hop. B.J. Upton aboard, their top base stealer.
So how'd that go, Dick, the opening ceremonies?
Well, they're always fantastic. I think the fans at home, they start to tire with the parade of nations. You try to put in little nuggets here and there about who is the honorary flag bearer for the country, right, or some geographical note. But, you want to keep them waiting because that's a great moment when finally the torch arrives.
Sure.
Bunt try and a foul tip. Muhammad now living in the Phoenix area, writing his memoirs. He was fortunate to be able to call one of his championship fights in Munich, Germany. Get to meet him.
That's pretty impressive. That's pretty cool.
Rode with him in the limousine after his final road work out in the Bavarian countryside. Strike, and it's 0-2. battling Parkinson's, so his hand was not steady as he lit the flame.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember watching.
Memorable moment. All right here out beyond the left field stands. The tower's still out there. A.J. Hinch, the assistant general manager and vice president, was on the U.S. baseball team in the '96 Olympics. Stanford star Ari Dickey was on that team as well. A.J. on a bus ride yesterday talking about the thrill. They had a big ramp on the outside parking lot, so as the parade of athletes began and you found your turn, you didn't see the stadium. You came up and then you hit the peak of the ramp and looked into a crowd of 80,000.
That's impressive.
And you are an Olympian. It's a moment you'll never forget. That Olympic team took home a bronze. How can baseball not continue to be an Olympic sport?
I'm right there with you.
Come on.
Especially with the way baseball has grown throughout the world, you know, in other countries.
And
China, Australia. I mean, we can go on and on. Holland,
Canada,
the Netherlands, yeah.
Softball as well. 2-2 now to STELLA.
They've got the World Baseball Classic. Why not continue it in the Olympic Games?
Yeah, I think that was the trade-off.
Yeah,
WBC. But 2-2, no one out. Upton at first. Fly ball to center, and in comes Venable to make the catch. Line drive out. One away. Well, Despagne has made 5 starts. If you go back to when he first joined the club, June 23rd, Clayton Kershaw, then Ross and Despagne, 1, 2, 3, lowest ERA. Gonzalez and Wainwright.
2 of our guys in the top 5. That's pretty impressive right there.
That starting rotation, thanks to Jesse Hahn and thanks to Despagne. And you add in Tyson Ross, the All-Star, and Ian Kennedy. And this is without Andrew Kashner. What a rotation. Freeman flying to center his first time. Speaking of Jesse Hahn, no ordinary effort by him, especially on the road. 4-0. It's a rookie on the road. That just doesn't happen. Change up in the dirt. He's the 6th active pitcher to accomplish the feat, and the first pitcher in Padres history in his first 4 starts on the road to go 4-0. 2-0 to Freeman. Infield looking for a ground ball.
Well, this is where that maybe 90, 91 mile an hour fastball from Despagne to get a little movement. Have Freddie Freeman hit it on the ground. Freddie Freeman has grounded into 11 double plays this year. Chris Johnson leads in that category for the Braves with 16.
Ground ball through the right side. They couldn't use the shift with a man at first, and B.J. Upton will streak on to third. And the Braves have runners at the corners with 1 out here in the 3rd.
Well, he's a tough out. No matter how much Freddie Freeman is struggling, maybe a bad streak here, a bad streak there, he's got a short, quick stroke, and he just happens to find the hole. Despagne got his ground ball. It just didn't happen to be at one of his infielders. Well, another ground ball here, possibly turn 2.
With no one on, Padres would have stacked up 3 on the right side, and that would have been a fairly easy out. Yeah, going to have to do some pitching now. With Upton, good speed at 3rd, Freeman at 1st, and the big man in the cleanup spot, Justin Upton, steps up. He struck out the first time. Ball 1. Upton leading in average, 286. Tops in home runs, 18, and RBIs, 58 for the Braves. Ground ball to third. Good play by Nelson. There's one. Back to first. A double play. 5, 4, 3. And that gets Despaigne out of trouble in the third. We've completed 3 in Atlanta. Good old double play around the horn. And it remains 1-0 Atlanta. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Sequan Casino. Real friendly, real close. By Jack in the Box, head in for the new Jalapeno Ranch or Barbecue Ultimate Cheeseburgers. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. Visit us at aramco.biz. Baseball will have a new signature on it next year as Alan Bud Selig retires as commissioner.
What's it going to be next year, Dick Edberg?
I wouldn't want that job. Although I do have some suggestions for them.
Sure, we all do, Professor. We all do.
Jan Solarte, Seth Smith, and Yasmani Grandal for the Padres in the fourth, trailing 1-0. They have only one hit. Smith a single to left center. Solarte struck out the first time. Only 39 pitches so far for Julio Teheran. Ground ball sharply into right field for a base hit. Solarte gets the Padres started here in the fourth inning as he pulls it through the hole between first and second.
I love his energy. I love his aggressiveness at the plate. Sure, he struck out. It was uno dos adios the first time up on a Teheran fastball. But he battles this time. Gaddis set up inside. Catches too much of the plate. And when you hit a sharp ground ball like that, find the hole. Good way to bounce back after the strikeout.
So he's now 4 for 14 as a Padre. Seth Smith, the other base hit off Teheran to left center. Over but low. Well, we saw Smith several seasons with the Rockies, and you respected him as a hitter. But now seeing him every day, he's better than we thought.
Absolutely, totally agree with you.
You never see him look bad on a pitch, even if he swings and misses. He's got a terrific eye.
Great command of the strike zone. Doesn't seem to get fooled all that much. I mean, you talk about any good hitter, probably the best pitch for a pitcher to make a good hitter look silly is probably a good split finger fastball or a really good changeup. Very few times we see Seth Smith take bad swings.
Late call strike from Paul Nart. 1-2. He's got that football mentality. Ole Miss. His mom is here, Mississippi, to cheer on Seth. So we're in the hotel. Loop to left, that's going to fall, and he's got another hit. First and second for the Padres with no one out here in the 4th inning. He's gone to left field both times, and here's a hitter that opposing teams have been playing with a shift to right.
Well, he fights off a little slider on the inner half of the plate because it's elevated. He elevates it over the head of the infielders. Simmons playing short. So that's a good at-bat right there, fighting off a good pitch.
Well, no one out here in the 4th. A 1-0 Atlanta lead. In jeopardy is the Padres. Back-to-back singles, Solarte and Smith. And that sends up Yasmani Grandal. Popped to second his first time. And he drills one to right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Scoring easily is Solarte. Here comes Smith around third. He's right on the heels of Solarte, and the Padres take a 2-1 lead on a double by Grandal. Oh, my. RBIs 23 and 24 for the Padre catcher.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Still no one out.
Boy, the Padre hitter is hitting the ball cleanly on the sweet spot. We talked about it in Chicago. It's carrying over here in Atlanta. And you know what? Grandal hitting a good pitch out of the hand of Tehran and beating the shift, because before that pitch, B.J. Upton was playing on the shortstop side. And when Seth Smith scores from first base, that's telling you something. The ball went all the way to the wall, a long run, and Upton kind of slipped a little bit out there at center as well.
And Glenn Hoffman at third noticed that, and he is waving that left arm all the way. He's going to have to see Todd Hutchinson after the game get a little rubbed on that left side. He's working out. That's a good sign. Didn't have to use that windmill much in parts of this season. Venable will move the runner over to third as STELLA throws out Will, and a chance to pick up a third run. Tommy Medica, the batter.
Well, Yasmani's been swinging the bat well, hitting the ball in the sweet spot.
Well, it's contagious. You know, it can be a vicious cycle when you're not playing well. It just seems to eat itself, erode away. One hitter doesn't do it, the next hitter tries too hard, and then when you're hitting, everyone seems more relaxed, happier about being up there, feeling confident. And that's the sense you get about this team in the last week. Medica takes in the dirt, ball one. Hit the ball sharply the first time, but right to Simmons, the shortstop, who threw him out. And the Braves infield will not concede the run. They're in on the edge of the grass. Popped up back toward us. Jonas falls below.
That was a hanging breaking ball, and Tommy just a little bit too quick to that baseball, a little bit out in front, working underneath it for the foul ball.
And Solarte got it started with a sharp ground ball to right. Smith looped a single to left. And Grandal brought them both home with that long double to right center. Grandal at third, one out for Medica. 2-1 San Diego. He's had a couple of good pitches to swing at. "90 feet from a 3-1 lead. Spoils that one. Couldn't take a chance on taking it. It was just off the plate. If you haven't been with us, Bud Black with that shiner in the right eye, midnight, the bathroom door ran into him.
You should see the door. Came off the hinges.
1-2, and he got him with a high fastball. Now, speaking of Bud Black, talking about the uptick in the offense, here's his thoughts.
As bad as it was at times during the the first half of the year, there's some room to make up some ground here offensively, especially statistically for a number of players, and they're continuing to work at it. And again, when you get hits, you get confidence. I think you do exhale a little bit. I don't know whether sigh of relief is the right term, but you gain confidence and you relax, and that's what we're seeing with a few guys.
And that's the analysis, and certainly that's exactly what we've experienced since the All-Star break. Alonso returning to the Padres after being gone more than 5 weeks with that wrist injury. I think he was a little bit eager. First pitch, he was swinging and flied to left field. Here's a chance to produce an RBI. And he falls behind 0-2. "22 runs batted in before the injury. Chain speeds on him, and he clipped it foul.
Little slider in on the hands. That is one tough pitch to keep fair, let alone try to even foul it off. It's got some good tilt to it. Let's peek into Evan Gattis. The pinky on the inside part of the plate indicates fastball into the left-handed hitting Alonso.
And he lines it, but softly to the second baseman, Stella. Sounded like he fractured his bat. But the Padres get 2 and take the lead. Solarte a single. Smith parachutes one to left. And the big blow, Yasmani Grandal chasing both Solarte and Smith home. It's 2-1. right, thank you, Michael. Bottom of the 4th inning, it'll be Jason Hayward, Evan Gattis, and Chris Johnson for Atlanta. You mentioned that Toronto streak, which is just hard to fathom. Go that many games, put 17 at Yankee Stadium, and finally get a win today.
Yep.
It's been a time for streaks. In their own way, the Padres winning 5 of the last 6. But how about Tampa Bay suddenly awakening? 8 straight wins for the Rays, and Cincinnati 7 consecutive losses. St. Louis with their longest losing streak, 4 in a row. 2-1 the score here, and Hayward works the count to 3-0. He walked to lead off the 2nd inning, and that became the Braves' run. Gattis followed with a double, and Hayward scored on a ground ball by Chris Johnson.
You know, Dick, you make a good point, because that's the great thing about baseball. It doesn't matter what place you're in. Even the good teams at first, they run through those streaks where they lose 8 out of 9. They'll lose 12 out of 16. And then there's teams in the bottom tier. They'll win their 8 out of 9. Or win 12 out of 16.
All right, come back, Mr. Hayward. That's 3-2 the count. And the Padres, a nice little winning streak here of their own.
Yeah, Yasmani had to reach across the plate, but that's a legitimate strike.
Full count now to Hayward. Flies foul, and Fox track. Southland Technologies Fox tracks confirmed that was a good call by Paul Nard. Another pitch off the plate outside the last 2, but Hayward protecting, fouls it away.
You know, Dick, you're exactly right. In and out, up and down. Look at the hard up plate. You know, the Fox tracks brought to you by Southland. They're the quadrants, right? But look at the middle right there. He's staying out of that middle.
Yeah, he loses them again. The leadoff walk, and that often will come around and bite you. So San Francisco and the Dodgers battling away in the West, with the Giants leading by a half game, and with the injury to Matt Cain, they've acquired Jake Peavy, one of our favorites. But he was struggling with the Red Sox. Hard to believe 1-9 his record. And maybe you'll find that good stuff again on the West Coast. Gattis doubled, ground rule double, deep right center field his first time. Ball 1. Something about Saturday night crowds are just a constant buzz. It's a beehive, isn't it?
Sure is.
Fans having a good time here at Turner Field. Ball 2.
Well, hopefully Despania and the Padres keep quiet. Big key whenever you're playing on the road. That 2-run fourth for the Padres kept quiet.
They don't want to help out the Braves, however, and the leadoff walk did become a run. And now another leadoff walk to Hayward. Gattis a good candidate for a double play.
And this is if you're going to throw a fastball, you better be able to place it in a good spot.
3-0. Wobbly inning start for Despaigne.
Well, he's been around the block a few times, so Yasmani out to have a little chat. I mean, look at the lather that Yasmani is working up.
And Grandal, the Cuban connection.
And while we have a minute, catch every strikeout, every game ender, and every history-making moment on MLB Whip Around. Weeknights at 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And once in a while, our own Mark Sweeney appears on the MLB Whip Around. Does a great job on that show.
Is he the whipper or the whippy?
He is, he whips it, and he whips it good.
There's a strike.
So he'd be the whipper.
3-1. Whatever. He does an outstanding job.
Whip.
Great baseball knowledge. We're lucky to be able to savor his good notes and nuggets. Leadoff walk, and now 3-1 coming up to Gaddis. Challenged him.
Yes, he did. That was a 90-mile-an-hour two-seamer right down the middle. And you know what? Judging by the body language of Despaigne after that pitch, as Gaddis is behind it, it almost looked like he was disgusted because he didn't hit his spot. Sure, he got away with one, but look at pitch number 5. Right down the heart of the plate. That's not where he wants to be.
Hayward, a short lead. And Gaddis wasn't sure, but it was outside. Back-to-back walks. Despaigne working himself into trouble here with a 2-1 lead. Can't defend the base on balls. Working from behind the last 4 hitters. And now he's walked the first 2 here in the 4th inning. Chris Johnson knocked in the run with a ground ball to third. Johnson does lead Atlanta in grounding into double plays. Oh boy. 16 times. Inside has been missing outside, and now inside. There's a heart attack on a plate. Oh man,
my goodness.
He's eating with both fists. He's got, that's the second course on his lap. And a line drive to center field, base hit. Hayward had to hesitate. He comes around third. They're waving him home on his way to third. They got to play there. And they'll get the out. Now to second base, not in time. So he held up enough, did Gaddis, to get the runner to the second base, Chris Johnson. But Johnson has tied the game with his second RBI and single to center. And the leadoff walk is scored on both occasions.
And this could play huge for the Padres as a pitch is elevated, and Johnson does a nice job getting his hands through. Now, you know another big key of this play is Will Venable hitting the cutoff man. Alonso freezing him. He commits to third to give it up to the base that he's going to. Nelson applies the tag. That could be huge. And Johnson's like starting, stopping. He'll take the 90 feet in the scoring position.
So the wildness by Despaigne, and the Braves jump on the advantage and score 2 men on leadoff walks. There's that big slow curve and bowing under to Simmons. Ball 1. He struck out swinging the first time. Pitcher on deck.
There you see the speed range from Despaigne, and the fastball is topped out at 93, and that curveball 64. As you can see, it's hot down in that field. It's humid.
Kind of weather Despaigne grew up.
Exactly.
In Havana. 1-1. 4 hits for the Braves. 3 walks from Despaigne. 2 of them have scored. Johnson out at second. 1 out. There's that slow curveball again, and Simmons out in front. A little more on it, 73. So 63, 73. He'll even throw it up near 81, 82.
They're even dropping the arm angle, right? So dropping the arm angle gives it more of that frisbee, more of that side-to-side movement, and gets Simmons down on his back knee.
Another one, it's chopped foul. Two now the score as the Braves get a run back after the Padres took the lead in the top half of this 4th inning on Grandal's 2-run double. Jesse Hahn, we'll see him back home at Petco. St. Louis Cardinals in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He'll get one of the assignments there. Another curveball bounced off home plate. That's a tough play, and Nelson will take it foul. He was hoping that ball would kick foul because he wasn't going to throw out Simmons at first base.
Yeah, that spin off the bat, that second hop. Simmons having difficulty with that breaking ball.
I know some of you fans like to come to Petco based on the pitchers that are going to work that night. And this is just how the rotation is going, not official. Tyson Ross would work the Tuesday night opener against the Cardinals. Wednesday would be Hahn, and then Despaigne on Thursday. One out and 1-2 as Simmons returns to home plate. Padre catchers haven't quite figured out Despaign's thinking. He shakes off a lot of calls. Now he found one he likes, and a foul ball off the fastball. 23 pitches this inning for Despaigne.
Now it's time to check the Cholula flamethrower. Yeah, what is Odrisamer Despaigne topping out at? 93.
Sizzling.
Yeah. Spicy. Cuidado.
Back up the middle. He's got the guy going to third, and there's the they're going to call him safe. I think we're going to have a challenge on that one. It was awkward at best as Nelson fielded the ball awkwardly in midair. And it appeared he still got a tag on Johnson coming in. But so far, no reaction from the Padre dugout. Let's take another look here.
High throw. Oh, it may have gotten him. May have gotten him on the back.
It all depends. From our angle, we can't see whether or not he actually made contact on the back of Johnson going in. They should have had him by 10 feet, but the throw was terrible from Despaigne. So you can't see whether or not, if he tagged him, he'd be out. His foot hadn't reached the base, but we don't know whether or not he was tagging error.
Right.
According to third base umpire Larry Vanover, he was right on the play. This is Bud Black not talking to the pitcher, but he's waiting for the Padres to try to get a better look at this to see if he wants to challenge.
Hey, let's go. See, buddy? Hey, let's go. Let's get it out. Throw strikes.
And that means to the infielders as well.
Yep.
So 2 bases on balls to open the inning. And that allowed Atlanta to score on the single by Johnson. And now they have a sure out at third and a wild throw by Despaigne. So safe on the fielder's choice is Simmons. First and third for the pitcher, Tehran. And we'll see what Freddie Gonzalez, the skipper of the Braves, has in mind here. He grounded to short the first time. Nelson pulls in on the grass at third.
Well, the beauty about this play, we've seen it many times before, even with the Padres. Show bunt. Butcher boy.
Here it comes. Safety squeeze, and that's going to work beautifully. 3-2. Atlanta takes the lead as Tehran helps himself. His 4th RBI of the year. Well, the misplay over third leads to the 3rd run. So Despaigne can blame only himself for the 2 runs this inning.
You know, it's always a perfect time. I mean, you never know what the opposition is going to do, but if you've got it, it might not be a bad idea to maybe pitch out in a situation like that. The bottom line is that Tehran perfectly places that, and goes to show you, it could even be at one of the fielders. This case being the pitcher. As soon as that ball is bunted, Chris Johnson is off and running. He scores.
And Simmons moves to second with 2 outs, and B.J. Upton is the hitter. So on just 1 hit, the Braves have tallied 2 here in the 4th and take the 3-2 lead. The misplay at third Not only allows the run, but gives an extra out.
Yep.
He's not the sharp Despaigne we've seen in his first 5 outings.
You know, though, in a way, how can I phrase this? It's not that I'm happy to see him in this situation, because you want to see him have clean innings, but I want to see how he reacts, how he pitches in stressful innings early on. This being the bottom of the 4th, right? It's been back and forth. Multiple base runners. How is he going to respond? How is he going to respond not being in that constant groove that he's been in the time he's been starting? I guess it's like a little test is what I'm trying to say. Okay? A little stress test.
Well, the 4 walks have been really his undoing, and then you got to throw in the 1 wild throw at third base. Not getting that first strike in there. Now he's 3-0 on another hitter. Upton has a single to right and a strikeout. And he walks on 4 pitches. 5 walks from Despaigne. Yeah, Bud Black saying, what's going on out there? First and second. 2 outs to Tommy Stella, the rookie second baseman.
You know, Bud Black not only looking at the ball 4, not only looking at the pitches, but looking at the pitcher himself, the body language, and doing a little cheerleading. Getting a close eye on Odrisamir as he has stressed this inning.
Trying to get out of this inning. A couple of gift runs for the Braves, but keep it close. 3-2. Stella walked and lined to center field, and once again unable to get the first pitch in the strike zone. That has been consistent the entire inning. Pitching from behind. Two and 0. That's 6 straight balls thrown by Despaigne.
Yeah, inconsistency with the release point on the command of the fastball. Therefore, you can't get ahead, and they're not going to swing at the pitches like that when they're in the hole.
You got Freddie Freeman, the Braves' best hitter, contact hitter on deck, and a laborious 4th inning for Despaigne. The 32nd pitch coming up. Oh, laid it in there, and La Stella fouled it back. First and second for the Braves. 2 runs are home. They've reclaimed the lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Throw through to second base, and not quite in time as AMARISTA ducked in.
Well, it looked like a timing play between Grandal and AMARISTA. Seeing that Simmons may be getting a little too froggy out there, and he fires a strike. Good throw. Simmons gets in back safely. Does his foot come off the bag? You know what? He might have been out. His front foot came off the bag, and there was some daylight there. Looks like AMARISTA had the tag on him.
But the trail leg might have been on the base. It was real close, but that was a very close play.
Yeah.
2-2. Line foul. $80 pitches now for Despaigne. $33 of them in this inning. Pops him up. Might be a play by the dugout. No, just out of the reach of Chris Nelson. So Brooks Conrad coming over to brace Nelson. Didn't want him to somersault into the dugout. La Stella's still alive.
Getting a little help from his teammates as well. Somebody in the dugout yelling, no, no, no. And there you go, Dick. Brooks Conrad. Just in case Nelson goes, you know what, over tea kettle. He's there to help him.
And yet another pitch, the 35th of the inning. 2-2. Ground ball up the middle. Backhanded, better hurry. Throws it away. Solarte throws it away. The run scores. It's 4-2. Everyone's safe. And this inning is becoming a mess. Third run scored by the Braves, and they have only one hit. Simmons scoring. Everyone's safe. Upton winds up at third. And STELLA to first, and now Freddie Freeman.
Well, look at this play. Now, I don't know whether, look at Solarte loses his balance trying to get rid of it quickly, and that's why you got to go hard as a base runner to each station 90 feet, especially when there's 2 outs. They might be able to go the short way. There's the stumble. There's the dart throw out of the reach. By that time, the run scores. The Braves keep it going.
Well, the official score is giving STELLA a hit on that play. That's
I could see that.
Because the second baseman stumbles, you get a hit. Yeah, that's how he scores it.
Well, I think the error, obviously, because the runner advances, but him going away from the play like that.
And now, with first and third 2 outs, you get to face Freddie Freeman, who has a single and 2 at bats. Because of the error by Solarte, Yasmani is working toward 40 pitches in a single inning. 8th man to bat. Walk, walk, single. Fielder's choice on the failure to get the out at third. Safety squeeze, walk. And now Freeman, you know this is going to happen. Hits. Oh, just foul. Looked like it was going to hit the foul line. That was close. And it's almost that kind of inning you expect, with all that's gone wrong, that sooner or later one of these Braves hitters is going to tag one. And that was close. Yeah. Just wide of the chalk. Two strikes on Freeman.
And Freddie Gonzalez is probably giving a little whistle to Freddie Freeman and say, hey, back out a little bit. We're still getting word from the dugout. He looked to his bench coach, and now it looks like he's going to go out and maybe challenge this.
See, that's the whole ploy. You wait as long as you can in the dugout, so you give your guys a chance to look at the video. Then you go out and talk to the umpire. You take your time out there. Then you turn to look back at the dugout, which he's doing now, so you can get the signal as to whether or not he should challenge or not. That's too much time. Too much time. We're trying to speed up the game, not delay the game.
That's bench coach Carlos Tosca.
And apparently he got the thumbs down. No, he's going to challenge. Yeah, I think that baseball has been saying they want to speed up the game, and they've, with this challenge process, they have extended it. The challenge last night took over 3 minutes. Just like taking the air out of the baseball balloon. From our angle, it looked as if the ball was just foul.
Yeah, I thought when the ball hit the grass, Dick, there was a little bit of green in between the ball and the chalk line, right?
We're showing the play from a different angle. This angle. And you would think that some chalk would have flown had it hit the white line.
Hey, you know what's interesting? For the foul lines on the grass, I think they use paint. So
it's a paste.
Right. So, you know, in the old days when they used to have that chalk, it didn't used to kick us. Now on the base paths, yeah, they use the old traditional chalk. At least we get to see this Padre fan here in the background.
Yeah, that's a highlight.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm thinking about?
Here we go,
my 12-second clocks. I'd rather have the 12-second clocks, 2 of them on the scoreboard.
Come on, Professor. There's nothing like a good old-fashioned challenge, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, people say I'm talking too much about that, so I'm trying to be better. It's just a bad idea, and leave it at that.
So the call stands. It is a foul ball.
All that time. Yeah, okay. Now we get to play baseball. But that may be good. Despaigne may have needed a chance to catch a blow here.
So if you're keeping score at home, Atlanta, no more challenges. Buddy Black and the Padres still have 1 challenge remaining.
Yeah, that took only 145. Congratulations. 0-2 the count. Just missed with the fastball.
It's a lot of work this inning.
42nd pitch coming up. Padres has grabbed a 2-1 lead in the top half of this 4th inning. But Despaigne came out and walked the first 2 batters, and it's crumbled ever since. Throwing a misplay at third. Should have been an out. An error by Solarte. And there are 3 Braves in. And a tough hitter up there in Freeman. Tim Stauffer up first in the Padre pen.
Got to leave those runners stranded out there. Only a 4-2 lead for Atlanta. Going to make a pitch here. Staying out of the heart of the plate, keeping it down, going in to Freddie Freeman.
Curveball, grounded into right center field. That'll score another run. On his way to third is STELLA. Freeman, 57th RBI. And they've hit around here and walked around in the 4th inning. And Bud Black goes to the mound.
Well, a tough night for the right-hander.
Well, it was his own undoing. He walked the first 2 men, and then the play at third was critical. That would have gotten him out of trouble. But he threw wildly. Johnson safe, and the inning just keeps rolling on. Performances. Odrisamer Despaigne comes down to earth today, and his wildness causing the trouble. He walked the leadoff man to score the first run. He walked the leadoff man to start this ugly 4th inning. And the Atlanta Braves have a 5-2 lead.
And with this pitching change is brought to you by Drew Ford. Enter Tim Stauffer. Still a lot of baseball left. The Braves leading by 3, and Tim Stauffer, who's that long guy, mid guy, short guy, he can do it all. 40 2/3 innings pitched. The opponent's batting average a little high, so Tim hopefully can get out of this mess and leave those 2 inherited runners out there with 2 outs. You know, just Odrisamer Samir just didn't have the command of the fastball tonight, Dick. He would fall behind. He tried to flip up the breaking ball, try to expand the zone a little bit, but when it was a hitter's count for the Braves, they're not biting on it because they don't have to. So it was just an off night for the right-hander.
Walked 5 and struck out only 3. 6 hits. Inning not older. Over. First and third with 2 outs, and Justin Upton, the cleanup hitter, is struck out and hit into a double play. Swings and misses at the first. Tim Stauffer delivery. Tim, the designated long man in that Padre pen. We saw Stauffer in the finale in Chicago on Thursday night. Gave up a couple of runs in an inning and 2/3. Got to throw strikes. Good block by Grandal. Just going back to how critical the play was when Simmons hit the comebacker. Was it Simmons or Johnson? Johnson was on second base.
Right.
And the throw to third would have been the first out. And then the Solarte play should have been the second out. Then the bunt for the run would have been the third out, and they would have scored only 1 run instead of 4. Here's the play. Simmons, a comebacker. They've got Johnson hung up, but a wild throw. He's safe, and the inning continues on. Instead of 1 run scoring, 4 have scored, and the Braves are still at bat. And you talked about the little things at the start of the game.
I think that was one of the keys. Yeah, you're right.
1 and 2 now to Upton. It's interesting how, and you see it often, all pitchers seem to be somewhat guilty of it. The short throw, having trouble. You're seeing more and more of them flip the ball underhanded to first base on comebackers, just because it's a different angle, a different throw.
So they're not quite used to all the time, right? That's why.
Upton down the right field line, slicing, foul.
And it's something you can practice. Remember Clayton Richard? Remember what he used to do?
Yeah.
He used to get that ball and run it over to first base and underhand it.
He had the yips. Upton back to home plate. Count 2 and 2. Cincinnati shut out Washington 1-0. The Braves fans know that, so a chance to gain a game on the leading Nationals in the East. St. Louis has defeated the Cubs 6-3. And a full count now to Upton. Giants and Dodgers out in San Francisco tonight. Giants leading by just a half game. They've not started as yet. Runner from first will be off. Freeman. 3 and 2 the count. High fly ball. Second baseman Solarte wants it. That was way up in the night. So the Braves bat around. Help from the enemy. They score 4 times.
my way into center field, checking out some of the neat parts of Turner Field, and I came across this very large drum. They play it whenever they do the tomahawk chop, or I don't know if you can kind of hear it now going on behind me. I've been standing out here since the top of the fourth, which was a while ago, and I think by now I may have lost my hearing, but it's way out here. But I'm telling you, even when you're back behind home plate, you can feel it, the all around the field, guys.
Yeah, that's a big timpani, isn't it?
Yeah.
They won't let me play it. I already asked.
Well, you know what I'd like to do, Chris? I'd like to take the top off of that drum and bring it over to the yogurt machine that's in the press dining room here and fill it up to the brim.
You know what I would like? To take this over to the Waffle House that they open, maybe put some hash browns scattered, smothered, some scrambled eggs.
Hey, nice report, Chris. Way to go.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Everything's about eating, isn't it? All right, fifth inning, back to the action with the Padres now trailing by 3 after they entered the last inning up by 1. And a sharp ground ball under the glove of third baseman Johnson, and the Padres' Chris Nelson on his way to second base to get things going here in the top of the fifth inning.
You know what? That's going to be ruled a double, but that's a play that has to be made. Looks like Chris Johnson was a little flat-footed there. It looks like he had time to get in front of it. I just think that's a play that a third baseman, especially where he's playing, he's well behind the bag. Now, whether his foot slipped a little bit, I don't know. I can't speak for Chris Johnson, but hey, for the Padres and Chris Nelson, good for him. A leadoff double.
And Tim Stauffer will bat for himself with the bunt in order to try to get one of those runs back.
Get it down that third base line. Get Chris Johnson in off the bag.
Ball 1. Tehran helped himself with a safety squeeze bunt in the last inning.
That's what you want to see there, Mr. Enberg. Because look at Freddie Freeman right there. He's charging, right? Tehran's going to be coming in this way. You want to bunt it down Chris Johnson's way, third baseline.
Johnson has to hold his ground for a possible play at third. Perfect. They'll get the sure out at first base. Stauffer gets the job done. Sacrifice 1-4. So 1 out, and AMARISTA hit the hitter as we check on our Coors Banquet timeless moment on this July 26, 2014. This date in 2005, Greg Maddux, then with the Cubs, struck out Vizquel of the Giants to become the 13th pitcher in Major League history to reach 3,000 strikeouts in his career. And Greg, one of those, honored tomorrow in Cooperstown. Now a man at third, 1 out. The Padres had that situation back in the fourth inning and couldn't deliver a third run as Maddux struck out and Alonso a soft line out. There's a chance for AMARISTA. Infield is giving the Padres the run up the middle. They're back at short and second. The corners are in. So the ball hit to first or third. Nelson would have to be quick to score. Seth Smith in the hole. Solarte on deck. Ground ball to first. No play. Freeman gets the out. Runner has to hold. Well, that's twice tonight at third with 1 out. The Padres can't get the runner home on an out, so it's up to Solarte, who singled the last time.
I just pulled that ball just a little bit too much. As you mentioned, Dick, the middle infield is playing back, conceding that run, but Freeman, even with the bag, even in a little closer, to freeze that runner at third base.
Solarte, chance to make amends for the play at second base that helped the Braves in that last inning. Trying to go downtown with breaking ball got him.
Yeah, a little slider right there down and in.
Seth Smith on deck is 2 for 2. He takes good cuts. Time for the Sequan Casino Daycation stat of the game. National League leaders since June 21st. Most strikeouts. Teheran fifth. Tyson Ross, the leader since June 21st with his 53 punch-outs.
Nice. Nice to see our guys top of the list there, huh?
Indeed. Smith hoping he gets a chance in the inning.
Yeah, need to get Seth Smith up to the plate here. That means that Solarte is going to have to come through with a big knock here.
Down the right field line, it's falling in a hurry, and foul ball, just foul. That had 2 base hit written on it, but landed on the warning pad. Back comes Solarte.
Yep. Hit the dirt. Foul line, grass, a little sliver of grass, and then the dirt.
Somewhere down the line, generations ago, a game of inches.
Yep.
One and two. To left field, and that one's a dying quail and falls for a hit. Skips by Upton. The run scores. It's 5-3. So Solarte with his second hit, and that's a big run to get the momentum back on the Padres side. Unable to take advantage of Upton letting the ball squeak by him. Stays at first base.
But I don't know whether Justin Upton was fooled by the swing off the bat. I thought that was going to be for sure caught by the left fielder. It drops in there, gets by him.
That's good hustle by Simmons, because it kept Solarte at first base. Smith comes up 2 for 2.
And here's the guy we wanted to see up at the plate, right?
Absolutely. He was pounding the bleachers in right field in batting practice. One strike to Smith. Both of his base hits to left field. 5-3 Atlanta. Good thing I don't have to do the keys to the game, because at the start of the telecast, you heard what I said to Ron Espana. It looks like a 2-1 game. Two great pitchers out there.
Hey, that's the beauty of this game, though, right?
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get. No guarantees. You know what that is, Dick?
That's baseball, and that's a base hit by Seth Smith. A ringing single to right field. That'll chase Solarte to third. And the Padres are still alive here in the 5th inning. 3rd hit of the inning. And the 3rd hit of the night for Seth Smith. The man can hit the baseball.
3rd time around. Boy, he really gets his hands in nicely. Keeps this ball fair. Just a professional hitter, Seth Smith. Now Roger McDowell, the pitching coach for the Braves, out to have a chat.
Here's a man, remember, now at home this year. His ERA is 1.23. Now he's given up 3 runs. His batting average against, 3rd best in all of the majors, 176. And the Padres continue their fine hitting since the All-Star break. They have 7 tonight. 3 of them by that man. And the tying run carried by Smith with 2 outs, and Yasmani Grandal with a 2-run double the last time up. Solarte with a couple of hits tonight. He's at 3rd. Smith with 3. Represents the tying run at first. 2 outs in the 5th. Off speed, strike 1. 70th pitch coming up from Tehran. 0-2. Despagne, 90 pitches, 44 on that 4th inning. Pulled on the right field line, but he's out in front, and that'll be foul. Not by much.
Well, it looked like he one-handed that. Let's see how far that went. Just out in front a little bit too quickly.
330 to the foul pole on right.
Check out the swing. High breaking ball. Out in front. Top hand comes off. Hit it two-handed, but then the hand came up after contact. Gave it a good ride.
Struck him out. But the Padres did come back and get one on 3 hits, and we're at the halfway mark in this one. 5-3 Atlanta. All right, Mike, 5-3 the score. And speaking of the Cardinals, they'll be at Petco Tuesday night, Wednesday night, a day game, 12:40 on Thursday. Well, Jason Hayward doesn't walk this time. He laces a single to center field off Tim Stauffer. He's on for the 3rd straight time, all as a leadoff hitter. The other 2 times walked and scored. Evan Gattis doubled and walked. So in that 4-run inning, the 4th on only 3 hits, there were 2, no errors, but 2 misplays by the Padres. So the walks and unable to come up with a play, open the gates, and the Braves march through with 4. Strike 1 to Gattis.
Well, the main thing for Tim Stauffer this inning, especially with the leadoff base runner there, is to work down in the zone. You know, Gattis likes to be aggressive. He likes to go the other way. He proved that earlier in the game on that double. Working down, roll something over. That was a good pitch there.
Yeah, we do get a scoring change now in that ball. Simmons hit back to the mound, and the play at third with the Padres didn't get an out. They're charging Despaigne with an error. So that will change the earned run, unearned run totals. So 2 errors in the inning. It's only 2 earned runs of the 5 allowed. So if you're keeping track, 3 2/3, 5 runs, 2 earned for Despaigne. Again, his own wildness at the plate and at third cost him. Line to third, past the dive of Nelson. Hayward will hold at second base, and Gaddis a couple of strong base hits today. A double to right center and a whistle that one. No chance for Nelson.
Boy, he gets the bat head through the zone quickly. We've mentioned it before. Evan Gaddis going old school. Knob of the bat to the baseball. The barrel follows. No batting gloves. That's on the sweet spot. Did you see that bat? That bat didn't even quiver a bit. That means that sound was directly off the sweet spot of that bat.
So Stauffer gives up singles to lead off this 5th inning to Hayward and Gaddis. Chris Johnson up. He's knocked in 2 of the runs with a ground out and a single to center. As we mentioned before, leads the team in grounding into double plays 16 times. One and one. It's a 2-run game, 5-3 Atlanta. But the Braves threaten here, no one out. Chases the breaking ball.
Good slider from Tim, expanding the zone there. Now in his favor, 1 and 2.
It is humid. That one headed for the seats down the right field side.
Hey, Sunday, it's coming up at Petco Park. It's August 3rd. We're going to honor the U.S. Army and Army National Guard. It's their Appreciation Day, and it's presented by USAA. It's going to be a special pregame ceremony. We're going to honor the men and women who serve in the U.S. Army and Army National Guard. These same Braves are going to be in town. First pitch, it's 1:10. Don't miss it. Get your tickets today at Padres.com or give them a jingle at 619-795-5555.
That's a week from tomorrow. And you know what Sunday is?
Fun Day Run Day?
You got it. Swing and a miss. And he takes care of Johnson with a strikeout. Another breaking ball, 1 away. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon against these Braves. Friday night, Saturday, Sunday day. Excuse me. The Cardinals Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday day, and then the Braves Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are 6 outstanding games.
Yeah.
You know, was it Friday night's going to be the wine tasting night? Did you say?
I believe it is. Yeah. How can you forget that? Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to.
You got to be in the right moment. You know, it's going to be a great moment.
And the floppy hats. That's on what, Saturday?
Big fan of that as well.
You'll try to grab a couple of those ones.
Oh yeah, at least 2 or 3. For this,
you know the motto, sportscasting motto.
If it's free, give me 3.
Yeah. Back to the mound. Should be 2. There's 1. Back to first, a double play as Simmons goes out 1, 6, 3, and the Padres escape trouble in the field. Here's Harris' game summary with the score 1-0. YASMANI GRANDAL double to right center. That was in the 4th inning, and the Padres took a 2-1 lead. But it unraveled in the 4th inning as the Braves would score 4 times, aided by 4 walks and an error. There comes the first run to tie off the single by Johnson. Here's the big play. Despaign's got it out at third, misfires an error, and that extends the inning. And the Braves would go on to score on a safety squeeze by Teheran, then an RBI single. Then the staggering play there, called a hit. And you get the feeling. Disaster in that 4th inning as the Braves score 4 runs on 3 hits. Make that now 2 hits and 2 errors. So Despaigne didn't quite have it today after some 5 terrific performances. Teheran has been cuffed around. He's given up 3 runs and 7 hits. Grandal has the big 2-run double. Freeman a couple of hits and an RBI.
Hey, good job by Tim Stauffer in that bottom of the 5th, holding the Braves 2-0. Now the Padres can go back to hacking.
And Venable loops one to center field, and B.J. Upton able to make a skidding catch. Perhaps the fastest of the Braves, and he needed all that jet speed to make the play.
Yeah, this is a big league play right here. All out, extend at the last second. And sometimes those outfielders' gloves, you know, they get a little flimsy. You get into the webbing and the ball might jar loose. Catch it, bring it up, cradle it. Hey, replace your divot, will you?
Yeah, it takes the leadoff man out of the picture. Good play.
That's a heck of a play right there.
So 1 out here in the 6th. Put a star on that one. Medica is grounded out and struck out. Julio Teheran seeking his 10th win of the season. That ball not in the strike zone, but he got the call. Southland Technology didn't see it the way umpire Paul Nart did. That one could have been called a strike. Hey, it's tough. You know, it's Fox Tracks gives us as fans a chance to kind of judge ourselves. He's got to call it on the spot. Oh, changeup. Changeup breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
See how way out in front he was on that one? Got a hold of Tim Stauffer. Did a good job last half inning.
Popped out behind the plate. Gaddis squeezed out of room. Here's where the right-hander Teheran ranks in the National League. 3rd in innings pitched, 4th in batting average allowed, walks and hits 4th, ERA 5th, strikeouts 9th. Pretty good report card.
Yep. Not bad for a 23-year-old, eh?
Yeah, that'll get you in the All-Star
And I'm
game.
not even from Canada.
Hey. Medica to left field, but room out there for Upton. 2 away. Had him out in front. Yonder Alonso back with the big club. In 7 rehab starts, he hit .280, 1 home run. Tonight, on his return, a fly to left and a soft liner to second. And there's his first hit on return. 2-out single. That keeps the inning alive for Chris Nelson.
Well, Yonder being aggressive. Remember the first at bat, the 2nd inning, he flew out to 7. That's left field on the first pitch. First pitch there, hacking, hanging off speed pitch, kind of a cement mixer there, just kind of rolling up there.
And that's the kind of bat the Padres hope will deliver a lot of hits. Struggled the first half of the season, 210. That brings Nelson up, representing the tying run. On deck, Carlos Quinton, should Nelson keep it going. Carlos started last night. Had a double in 3 at bats. Way out in front. 0-2. Nelson doubled under the glove of third baseman Chris Johnson the last time. Runner goes, and it's fouled back. Yeah. No, not a pulled muscle, a torn pants.
So he blew out his britches right there on that slide. Yeah, that'll give you a raspberry.
Tuck the flap in there.
It was already blown out. See, you see all the stitching? That's a retread.
Well, you need a little breathing room in this hot, humid weather. Get a little air there. It's like reaching out and punching ball on the infield, and that ball is going to be a base hit. Oh my! Yeah. Oh, just when you think you've seen it all.
Exactly.
How in the world you hit a ball like that? You're the pitcher, and the guy just reaches out and hits a little blooper over the right side, and it goes for a base hit.
Looked like Stella playing over towards the second base bag a little bit, off the end of the bat. Look at how far Stella is there at the back. A grown man swung that bat, folks. A one hopper.
So Nelson has his second hit, and Quentin will get a chance to bat here with a tying run on. 5-3 the score. Alonso at second and Nelson at first, representing the tying run.
Bet you $1 swings at the first pitch.
We can't wage big money.
Come on.
How about
just play along.
How about an apple? I'll bet you an apple.
An apple?
He does. Okay, I'll get an apple.
I'll take a Red Delicious.
Those are the big sellers back in the days at the Michigan farm.
And you know what? With that in mind, what does Tehran do? He throws the breaky ball because he knows that Carlos Quentin is very aggressive early in the count.
He's 4 for 10, Mark, as a pinch hitter with a couple of home runs. Foul tip.
Oh, Gaddis got that one right off either the arm or the chest protector. No glove at all on that foul tip.
Well, the Padres will have a new pitcher in the bottom half of the inning. Stauffer out. Quentin in the hole, 2 strikes. Alonso at second, Nelson at first. Alex Torres apparently will be the next Padre pitcher. Tehran is scheduled to lead off the bottom of the inning, and we saw Jason Shreve last night throwing seriously, so that indicates that Gonzalez may lift Tehran for a pinch hitter. Up high.
Well, here's the blowout on the britches of Alonso. He goes in and immediately.
That's a major league rip up.
That's
1-2 to Quentin. And he lays off the high fastball, 2-2.
Dick, that's like, back in the old Midwest, back on the farm. Remember the old Long Johns with the trap door?
Yeah.
Remember? That's kind of like the same type deal.
Oh, hey, I wouldn't have grown up without that.
Yeah. You got the full-on union suit, right?
Yeah.
Buttons up in the front.
Right. Red if you're really wealthy. Just a dull gray if you don't have a lot of money. Dull gray in Armada.
See if he can score on this base hit right here by Carlos Quentin.
Popped up behind the plate. That's going to make it over the screen. Well, Quentin now seen some pitches. He's got it worked to 2-2.
And have you noticed, Tehran, he's throwing the breaking balls for strikes or around the plate and then wasting the fastball kind of up in the zone a little bit. Buddy doing a little cheerleading right there. Well, Jesse Hahn getting the legs loose. If Quentin gets aboard, Jesse Hahn looks like he may pinch run.
With Andrew Kastner, the pitcher pinch runner on the DL. 2-2. Ooh, way outside. Good stop by Gaddis. Well, that's a break for the Padres with 2 outs. That'll give both runners a couple of extra steps, and if Quinton can find a hole in the gap, could tie it up. Alonso with that airfoil might really be able to fly, huh?
Let's see if it comes into use. You betcha.
Runners go. Here comes the 3-2. And another foul.
Another slider.
Good battle. 90 pitches now for Tehran. AMARISTA, the leadoff man, is on deck. Runners reset. Alonso and Nelson. And another foul.
He's hanging tough.
Fastball that time, 93, but he spotted it well outside.
Dick, we're going to peek in here to Evan Gaddis, and I'm going to take a chance. Is it going to be the first sign after 2 being the indicator with the runner on second base? 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 being the slider, first sign after 2. Let's see if he flips up a slider here.
Oh, fastball got him swinging. That's it for the Padres. They lead 2 in the top of the 6th inning. Tehran came up with a big strikeout when he needed it with a tying run aboard. It remains Braves 5, Padres 3. '40th anniversary. Henry Aaron, number 715. Tom House in the bullpen for the Braves, able to make the catch, and Henry makes the Grand Tour. 1 home run above the great Bambino. 40 years ago.
Where were you when that happened, Dick? Can you remember?
I was home. Let's see.
That's a nice looking patch, huh?
That's beautiful.
I can tell you exactly where I was. I was in the basement with my dad watching the game on TV.
1974. I was doing the Angel games at the time. That was April 8th, 1974, off Al Downing of the Dodgers.
A nice little trivia question as Alex Torres comes in to pitch, try to hold the Braves at 5. You mentioned one of them, Tom House, the relief pitcher for the Braves, out in the bullpen, catching that home run ball. And then who was on deck when Henry Aaron hit that home run? Dusty Baker.
Yeah. Number 44, Henry Aaron. Starts his name with 2 A's. That's like an A+. So Torres in to pitch the 6th inning for the Padres. And he faces Phil Gosselin. Gosselin just called up from the AAA farm club Gwinnett by the Braves today. Well, that's Torres. Usually that first batter, he's going to fire one either in the dirt to the screen or over the head of the catcher. Gosselin, 25, University of Virginia, Cavalier.
Ralph Sampson, right?
He had a strike zone.
Yeah, he did.
2-1. And 2-2. So Tehran does work 6 innings. Allows the 3 runs, 9 hits. Didn't walk anyone. That was key, and 5 strikeouts. Back to the mound. And Torres sets and fires. Oh, he's safe. Another throwing error. Goodness, Padre pitchers can't throw to a base tonight.
It just
took the second time.
It just took way too much time. Gosselin was firing down the line.
3rd error by the Padres. 2 by pitchers who had certain outs on the bases, but misfired high and away.
He grabs it, and then Torres he looks at the ball too much time, and then he realizes Gosselin's getting down the line very, very quickly. Works underneath it.
Gosselin in the big leagues. He's hustling. So the leadoff man on by way of the error is Alonso pulled off the bag. Second pitcher throwing error, and that brings up B.J. Upton. And the Padres last night against Alex Wood, the first 5 innings, the leadoff man with a base hit leading off all 5 innings. Tonight it's been turnabout. Hayward walked to lead off the 2nd and scored. Base hit by Upton leading off the 3rd. 4th inning, Hayward again leading off with a walk. Hayward then led off the last inning with a single, and now Gosselin safe on an error. 5 of the 6 innings, leadoff man aboard for the Braves. And Upton shows bunt, pulls it back. 2-0.
Oh, this game will drive you nuts, won't it, Professor?
Oh, boy. Just when you think things are going good.
Yeah.
They're all human, aren't they?
Oh, it'll bring it to your knees, that's for sure.
Yeah, try to pitch out of the damage done. Padres are within reach, trailing them by only 2, 5-3. But they've played much too generously tonight.
Tell you, just when you think you've got this game licked, the baseball gods, they'll creep up on you and they will bring it to your knees.
But if you had said before the game, Julio Teheran, with his record at home, best ERA in the major leagues at home, 4th best in batting average allowed, and you'd say, well, after 6 innings, Padres would have him out of the game with 3 runs and 9 hits. You'd say, you take that.
Sure.
With Espana on the mound.
Yep.
Three and 1. We saw Shea Simmons last night. He pitched 1/3 of an inning. Got to hold the fort here. Torres has extended the inning. It's a 4-out frame now for Atlanta, and falling behind Upton 3-1.
Look at that.
Good changeup.
Yeah,
huh?
that's what Alex Torres is known for. The fastball, the changeup, his secondary pitch, and he throws it fastball count. Dangerous situation, 3-1. And he throws it for a strike. Even if that pitch is taken, it's down the middle for a strike. Throw over.
They got him. Throw to second is high, but they get the out this time. Goodness. Bartender, another high ball. This time they're sending it back.
You know, I was hoping that Yonder was going to get rid of this ball a little bit more quickly. As he takes like 2 or 3 steps, he works underneath it. He actually threw that ball on the run. Therefore, the throw was high. See, he's off balance there. And thank goodness ALEXI comes up and gets it and back down to apply the tag. Whew.
So Gosselin erased, caught stealing, so that takes him out of the picture. Back to Upton, and a fly ball to center. Hit pretty well, but Venable cruises back to make the catch. 2 away. Now going back to the pickoff, you saw Grandal looking in the dugout. The signals given by the Padre dugout, whether it's Bud or whoever's throwing out the signals.
It's probably Dave Roberts.
And that becomes a very big play to get that leadoff man out of there.
Absolutely.
Second baseman STELLA, strike 1.
Hey, certain runners, certain pitchers, certain counts, certain situations. Dave Roberts knows all that stuff. They go over these. Nothing is. No rock is left unturned.
Right. And it's a perfect time. They're saying, hey, rookie just up from the minor leagues, wants to impress. 3-2. He might just be going. I guessed right.
Rock, stone, pebble, whatever.
1-1.
I said rock. I meant stone.
Yeah,
I'm getting excited here.
I know.
A lot going on.
You've mentioned it many times, and we have applauded the fact that these coaches and managers, their long hours to be prepared, thinking ahead, the chess game and what play to make, what counters, thinking ahead an inning or two, pinch hitters, bullpen, fisted foul.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this particular game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
And Dale Thayer loosening up. Up the middle, and STELLA punches a single to center field. He has a couple of hits tonight. Yeah, there's the difference in that pickoff of Gosselin. It would be first and second with 1 out. Now just 2 outs with the man at first. And Freddie Freeman, the batter, he's got a couple of hits and an RBI. Both singles to right field. It's a fascinating pitching matchup tomorrow. 2 very hungry pitchers will be dueling. Eric Stoltz, he wants his 4th win. Mike Minor, left-hander for the Braves, he does as well seek his 4th win. Both men have been guilty of a high ERA and a high batting average against. We'll see who prevails. We thought we'd see a close pitcher's battle tonight. We'll probably see the 2-1 game tomorrow. You see both men with a 5 ERA. Stoltz has pitched much better than that 3.12 record. So we'll be with you at 1:30 here on Fox Sports San Diego for the pregame show. 1-1 to Freddie Freeman. Youngest team in the National League, these Atlanta Braves. Good young players: Freeman, Upton, Hayward, Simmons, STELLA at first base with his lead. And another hit for Freeman. He just is a sweet swinging hitter. Venable gets it back in. Freeman, who had 2 hits last night, 3 tonight.
He can't hit, huh? And the first base coach for the Atlanta Braves now talking to Freddie Freeman as we take a look at that short, quick stroke. He chokes up on the bat, too. He's got power. He's got gap power. He can hit the ball on the line. Now he's chatting with the 1991 MVP of the National League, Terry Pendleton. There's Terry, number 9, former third baseman of the Braves and Cardinals. Good teammate, good player right there, Terry Pendleton.
And thanks to the pickoff, the Braves have not added to their 5-3 lead, and Bud Black goes out to make a pitching change. As we promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo for you. Tweet your photo to hashtag SD fan photo. Chance to be shown in an upcoming telecast brought to you by AT&T.
Yeah, a couple of fans right there. Kelly, thank you very much, Kelly, at Kelly the Cougar. Loves her Padres.
Justin Upton is 0 for 3. 2 men on, 2 out. Ooh, he goes after the first pitch from there. Struck out, grounded into a double play, and popped up. So the Padres have held him in check so far. He did have a sacrifice fly last night, but 0 for 5 officially. Upton. Player, a busy man, 46th appearance. Grounded right to the shortstop. AMARISTA throws it to the second baseman, SOLARTE, for the out. And we go to the 7th inning. A 2-run game. Atlanta 5-3. Atlanta tomorrow at Cooperstown. Frank Thomas, White Sox slugger, will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. A Georgian, two-time American League MVP, 10th all-time in walks. Pitchers didn't want to throw him a strike. 521 career home runs, exactly the same total as Ted Williams. They expect a huge crowd up there. A lot of Atlanta folks going to go up there. And Cox, Maddox, Glavine. Great experience, whether for the Hall of Fame induction or just to go up to visit the Hall of Fame. You can spend 3 days there and not see it all.
You know, I've never been there.
You better go.
No,
I mean, it really
know.
should be on your bucket list. Wonderful people. It's a charming little village. Beautiful hotel, lake, golf course, named after James Fenimore Cooper, Cooperstown. New pitcher Shea Simmons. Leadoff hitter Amarista, 0 for 3 against Tehran. Line to second, grounded to short, hit it hard both times, and grounded to first. Willie McCovey also at 521. After Amarista, Solarte and Smith.
Well, the Padres saw Simmons for a third of an inning last night. That was in the ninth. Zeros all the way around. Always working out of the stretch.
And Amarista caught looking. 3-pitch strikeout. Well, let's go back to our Honda dealers of San Diego keys to the game. Mark Grant made this prediction early on.
Well, you know what, Dick? Remember how I said earlier, just when you think you've got the keys to the games, brought to you by Honda dealers, licked, and the baseball gods will get you. First inning, fire. No runs scored, 1 hit, and no extra outs for the Braves. And you know what? The Padres have given them extra outs. Include 3 walks, the 2 errors. You know, not good.
No, that amounted to about a 5-out inning and 4 runs scored. And so that's the difference in the game.
So what would my grade be?
I can't tell
be
you
honest.
Right now.
I can take it.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to pass you, but D-.
Oh, all right. Hey,
I'm not going to fail you.
I've got work to do, and I accept that.
But yet that balances out. You've had several A's on this trip, so you're still carrying a B average.
So at the end of the semester, can I like throw 1 out, 1 grade out, and average it that way? Would you allow that?
I didn't grade that way. You throw out a high and a low. Is that what you want?
No, just the low.
Oh no, well, we can't do that. The reputation is spoiled, and then no one will respect me.
Right. That's fair.
Jan Solarte has struck out and singled twice. Knocked in a run last time up. 2-2 the count with Seth Smith, a perfect 3 for 3 night on deck. Last game that Smith started in Chicago, he went 3 for 4.
See Solarte late on that Simmons fastball. He's got a good one as you take a look at the Padres box score. Simmons can get that fastball up around 97. Along with that slider, and he also throws a split-fingered fastball.
Padres need a base runner. Bring that tying run to the plate here in the 7th. Full count. His uncle was Roger Cedeno, and he admired him, copied him, wanted to switch hit. Foul ball. The attendance tonight here at Turner Field, 33,820. 31,647 last night. And I think a lot of folks will come out tomorrow just to see the game, but also to come early and be with Braves fans to watch the
good call
induction on television on the big screen here. Ball 4. 1-out walk. Solarte gives Smith a chance to tie it. Mr. Perfect, 3 for 3. Started tonight hitting .293, so a 3-for-3 performance is boosting him up right to the 300 mark. A dozen sounds better than 11, doesn't it?
It does. You calling it?
I got a feeling.
Are you hooked on a feeling?
Sometimes.
More than a feeling? Are you high on believing? I'll believe right along with you. How about just a good at bat, hit it solidly somewhere, right?
That's what he's done all night. But he did get credit of a soft single to left, but the other two were line drives. No, that's one of the few weak swings.
What did I say earlier? We don't see many bad swings, right? But a good changeup, a good split finger, any good hitter will look silly at times, and that was the one case. That was the split finger fastball out of the hand of Shea Simmons. Swung out and missed.
So why not throw another?
Peek into Evan Gattis. See if in fact he does go. Well, there's the wiggle. That would indicate split finger.
And a strike. 1-2. Yeah, the new daddy, Barbaro, Anthony Barbaro, warming up.
There's that last pitch, Dick, and he gets a call. Southland says it's a ball. Paul Nart indicates strike.
He's had a wide strike zone, hasn't he?
Yeah.
One out. Solarte there at first base. A 5-3 game here in the top of the 7th. Smith up with YASMANI GRANDAL on deck. Two and two. Fair ball. Foul ball. Oh. Freeman caught that ball. That's not the first base umpire's call. It's the plate umpire's call. The ball hadn't passed first base. And that was a tight call. Would have been a possible double play.
Now remember, it's where he touches the ball. Right there. There's the ball on the foul side. Well, you can see Gabe Morales. He's almost on one knee. He's getting a good read at it. And you know what, Dick, it happened so quickly. You are right, though, on the ball that's near home plate in front of the bag. It's the home plate umpire's call, but it happened so quickly. Wondering if
they probably made eye contact, maybe with the plate umpire.
Sure. And they'll pick each other up once in a while, right? With the left-handed hitter.
Foul tip. That would have been ball 3.
With that left-handed hitter and, going down the line, he may have been blocked a little bit, the home plate umpire.
But it's interesting how Freeman fielded the ball definitely with his body in fair territory. Right. So the fans thought that was a fair ball. Right. But reaching across, it's where the ball is, not where the player fields the ball. So the Padres still alive, and Smith at 2-2 with 1 out. Making Shea Simmons work. Simmons pitched at Southeast Missouri State. I bet I have you on that one, but nickname. Ball 3, 3-2.
What college was it?
Southeast Missouri State. You don't know that. I only know it because I saw
Antelopes.
You know that's really close?
What is it?
Red Hawks.
Red Hawks.
Full count. Runner goes. Ball 4. What an at bat by Smith. He fouled off 4 or 5 pitches, and now in a couple of walks, the Padres have the tying run aboard. What a night for Smith. 3 singles and a walk.
Well, it was a battle, so let's go back to the first pitch from Shea Simmons. Remember, keep that split finger in mind. He got a call right there, working in and out, the belt buckle. Seth Smith, who's got a great eye. That was the foul ball down to Freddie Freeman. You could see that Simmons staying out of the heart of the plate. That was one pitch he could have taken the opposite way. And laying off, boy, he really worked underneath that last split finger for the walk.
And with a couple of walks from Shea Simmons, Freddie Gonzalez is making a pitching change. It's 5-3, breaking the action here in Atlanta. The 7th inning, have the tying man aboard with 1 out. YASMANI GRANDAL, the hitter. And down on the farm for the Padres, we thought it was interesting. The #1 draft picks of the Padres are doing very well. Spangenberg was #1 pick 3 years ago, hitting .349 at San Antonio. Hunter Renfroe, the #1 pick 2 years ago, and he's hitting .280 with 19 home runs combined. And Trey Turner, the #1 pick this year, .455 in the last couple of weeks.
Nice.
20 base hits and for, I think 42 at bats. So #1 selections all doing well in the minor leagues. Now to the big leagues. Here's Grandal. And he popped up. Might come back out of play, and it will clear the screen. Grandal got the Padres the lead, trailing 1-0 in the 4th inning. Solarte and Smith singled, and Grandal walked them both around on a double to deep right center. Here's Barbaro's numbers.
Yeah, and Barbaro throws a fastball, curveball, and a change. Mid-90s on that fastball. He's only given up 2 home runs in 39+ innings.
He's been very busy away from the field this week. His wife presenting him with his 2nd child. 1-1. On paternity leave, back with the clubman pitching tonight. 1-1. Grandal 2 on, 1 away. Trying to chase that breaking ball, couldn't find it. 1-2. Will Venable on deck. Five runs, 10 hits for Atlanta. 3 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors for the Padres. Braves have taken advantage of Grissomer's Despaign's wildness. Now the Padres have a chance. Couple of walks aboard. Bavaro, 29 years of age. He preceded second baseman Tommy LaStella at St. John's University in New York. He's 29. Picked by the Mariners in the 12th round in 2005. He, like many, has gone through Tommy John surgery. Two and two. 94 on the fastball.
Yeah. I remember the last at bat in the 5th inning against Tehran. It was the high fastball out of the zone that Yasmani swung at. And it looks like he tried to go back up there with that last pitch. How you doing? So now count even with him, 2 and 2. There it is again.
That one sails all the way upstairs. With one out, Solarte walked, and so did Smith. The two of them, that partnership, up 8 times, been on base 7 times. Solarte 2 singles and a walk, and Smith 3 singles and a walk. And another foul. Good at bats for the Padres.
Yep. Looks like Yazzie had the right idea there, trying to go to the left center field gap. And you look at defense for the Braves. Justin Upton, he's shading that left field line a little bit. And BJ, his brother, it looks like he's playing pretty much straight up, just maybe a shade to the shortstop side of second base. Decent gap in left center field.
And a big gap on the left side of the infield. 8th pitch of this at bat coming up. Oh, tough looking. Strike 3. Second time GRANDAL has punched out tonight. And that brings up Will Venable.
Yeah, he froze him with the fastball. 2-seamer coming back in. Nice job by Gaddis framing it. He didn't even have to frame it. Let's take a look. Southland Technology Fox Track says right on the corner, inside corner for the call, 3rd strike.
Get out the brush, paint it.
Yep.
So it's Venable, 2 out, 2 on. He has struck out, grounded out, and Upton took a base hit away from him, the center fielder, the last time with a skidding catch. Just the webbing of the glove caught it just off the top of the grass. Will with just 3 home runs this year. Two and 0. Here's how close Venable was to a base hit the last time up. Looping shallow in center, B.J. Upton. An excellent play.
Beautiful play.
2-0 pitch. High strike. Solarte at second, Smith the tying run at first. 5-3 here in the top of the 7th. And fouled away. Two on, 2 out, 2-run lead, 2-2 the count. And a pop fly to short. Simmons there. Inning comes to an end. Padres can't take advantage of a couple of walks. Stretch half of the 7th in Atlanta. 5-3 Braves. Atlanta. Fox Sports San Diego presents Padres Baseball. Brought to you by Petco, the power of together. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. With Mark Grant and Chris Button, Dick Enberg, thank you for being with us tonight. A 5-3 Atlanta lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jason Heyward, then Evan Gattis and Chris Johnson for the Braves. Heyward on base all 3 times, all as the leadoff man in an inning, twice with walks from Despaigne, and he came around to score. And he singled to center the last time against Tim Stauffer. Dale Thayer into his 2nd inning. Handcuffed him on that pitch. 1-2. The Braves staggering a bit of late this last week. They've lost 4 of 5. Folks around town complaining about the offense, averaging only 3.8 runs per game. Swing and a miss. Down goes Heyward. Chris Button, what do you have for us?
Quick update on Andrew Cashner. You know, he's been on the DL since late June with shoulder soreness. Well, he's been playing catch recently and could be throwing his first bullpen as early as tomorrow. With the shoulder soreness, he had started to play catch but then had to stop for a while because the soreness moved up to his neck. So good news, he could be throwing a bullpen as early as tomorrow or later on this week.
Thank you, Chris. Can you imagine the 5-man rotation with him available?
Yeah. It'd be a good one. It's good now with the addition of Cashner. You betcha.
Kennedy, Ross, Cashner, Hahn, Despaigne, Stoltz. Evan Gattis, a double, a walk, and a single, 2 for 2. Been on base all 3 times. Chris Johnson to follow. The Braves really got the better of that trade with Arizona, didn't they? Both Justin Upton and Chris Johnson, Martin Prado, and a handful of other players. Oh, that caught him. Oh, yeah. 260 pounds to absorb that pitch. Wasn't a fastball.
Yeah, it looked like Dale Thayer tried to go with the breaking ball, and that's the last thing that he wants to do with a 2-run deficit. Gattis eyes it and turns into it right at the belt.
The old rusty dusty.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the baseball. That's a tough man right there, Evan Gattis.
So 1 out, and here's Chris Johnson. Came with Upton to Atlanta. He's got a couple of RBIs tonight, and a ground out and a single to center. Struck out the last time. Fly ball to center field. Venable eases into the gap and squeezes the 2nd out. And that brings us to our Bill Howe play of the game. Back in the 4th inning when Atlanta scored 4. Had this play been made successfully, Despaigne to third. He's got Johnson, but he misfires. And instead of the Braves scoring 1 run that inning, they wound up with 4. 4 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors, 4 walks. A mess of an inning from the Padres' point of view. And that's the difference in the game. Our Bill Howe play of the game. Here's Simmons. The shortstop has struck out. Safe on that error by Despaigne throwing to third base, and he's grounded into a double play. Gattis at first, 2 outs. And the bullpen active for the Braves. Right-hander Walden. High fly ball. He just missed that. Venable eyes it out in center, and the inning comes to an end. We've completed 7 innings at Turner Field. It's still 5-3 San Diego. Folks, now Atlanta. award-winning Padres Live, the post-game show. As the new pitcher for the Braves is Jordan Walden. He's the setup man, 37th outing.
Yeah, pretty good numbers for the right-hander. Opponent only hitting 200. Being a little wild at times, 15 walks in 30-plus innings, but he's a strikeout pitcher. You can see 42 strikeouts in 30-plus innings. And this right-hander, he can get that fastball up to mid-90s to 97, along with the slider and the changeup.
Came to the Braves as compensation for right-hander Tommy Hanson. Trade with the Angels. Got a little hitch in that kick as he fires. Ball one. Medica, Alonzo Nelson scheduled here in the top of the 8th. Big guy, 6'5" and 260. From Fort Worth, Texas.
It's almost like he hops towards home plate.
It's kind of a double the kick and then the hop.
See him hop off the mound there? His body actually comes up off the ground, it looks like.
Baseball's version of the triple jump. Two and one. Medica, who has grounded sharply to short for an out, struck out and flied to left tonight.
I don't think I've ever seen this. Why both his feet come off the ground? Right there. Well, it drags a little bit, but still, that's unbelievable.
He's a lot closer to home plate by the time he throws the ball.
My goodness.
Pitched 3 years with the Angels. Came over to Atlanta last year. He's 4-3. Had 1 save. Medica trying to get it going. 5-3 the score. The shift on for Medica. And it paid off the first time up. Johnson, Simmons, Stella all on the left side. Freeman all alone on the right side as Nick Vincent looks over the scouting report with pitching and bullpen coach Willie Blair. Two and two. Well, most teams, once you have the lead and get to the 7th inning, tough to beat after 7 innings when they're in front. 53-6. It almost looks as if Walden is stumbling and going to fall, but that's part of his routine. Unique with a capital Y.
Now, like that's something like I'd say, right?
You know, we've been together too much. You know, the season's long.
Yeah.
We kind of think alike. Full count. Get on there, Tommy Medica.
I'm thinking tie ball game in this half inning.
Fly ball to right. Long run, but Hayward's going to make it there, just inside the foul line. 1 out. Yonder Alonso, a single in 3 at-bats as he returns to the big league club. Been out since back in June 19th. So here we are, July 26th. Over 5 weeks. Flied out, soft liner to second, and a sharp single to center field for Yonder. Left field hit pretty well, but Justin Upton perfectly placed. 2-8. Looking ahead tomorrow, 1:30 our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. Eric Stoltz, the left-hander from Indiana, on the mound seeking his 4th win of the year. And he draws a southpaw from the Braves, Mike Minor, 3-6. Game 3 of the 4-game series. Stoltz, a man who has received so little hitting support this year. The last 6 starts for Stoltz, the batting average against about .230. Chris Nelson, 2 for 3. A double down the third baseline, and a bloop single that landed just on the edge of the grass, and a check swing the last time. Walden quickly hit, 2 strikes. Line to right field. Hayward there for the catch. 3 outfield putouts. Padres go in order in the 8th. It's still 5-3 Atlanta. Welcome back to Atlanta. 90 degrees at the start and plenty of humidity. Cooled off a bit as the night has progressed. And Nick Vincent, the 5th pitcher used by Bud Black, as he's returned from the injured list. And slowly but surely, the wounded are back. Vincent, and Alonso, and Cabrera's about a week away, and we could see Jed Jerko tomorrow.
Yeah, and Nick has thrown the ball extremely well since he has been back off the DL. Remember back in Chicago, back on Wednesday, he threw a third of an inning. He threw an inning and 2/3 on Thursday night in Chicago. So he had a day off yesterday. And he's back out there tonight. Live fastball, cutter, fastball, slider, and changeup from Nick Vincent.
Jordan Schaefer pinch hit for the pitcher, Jordan Walden. And then the top of the order, Upton and STELLA. Strike 1. Schaefer only 72 at bats, 12 hits with that 167 mark. Primarily a defensive outfielder and a pinch runner because he's a good base stealer. Hitting stars, Freddie Freeman, 3 hits and 4 at bats for the Braves, and Seth Smith, 3 hits and a walk. Perfect night for him, leading the Padres. Late swing. 1-2. So looking ahead, the Padres in the 9th inning will have a pinch hitter for Vincent. Then the top of the order, Amarista and Solarte. Anyone gets on, Seth Smith will come up. Strike 3. Another fastball right by the swing of Jordan Schaefer.
Well, when there's 2 strikes, you can afford to go up and out of the zone. We've seen that a couple times tonight. That's a 2-seam fastball with good run on it. Seems like Nick Vincent is back. He's healthy, and it's good to have him out of that bullpen as Craig Kimbrell, the closer, heats up for Atlanta.
All-star pitcher. One of the better closers in all of baseball, although the last time out Miami got to him and beat him. A couple of wild pitches helped. Upton struck out, singled, walked and scored one of those 4 runs in the 4th inning. Fly to center the last time. Slider just out of the zone. Again, the 4th inning, which has become the difference for the Braves to lead 5-3. They got only 2 hits in the inning, 2 errors helped out, and 4 walks, and a couple of misplayed balls. So all the worst came together, intersected in 1 inning, and the Braves took advantage, and thus they lead 5-3. 1-2 now. That's in there, and a couple of quick strikeouts for Vincent. In case you're just joining us, Despaigne, after 5 brilliant outings, lasted only 3 2/3 because of his wildness. He walked 5, allowed 6 hits, committed an error. Teheran, the ace for the Braves. Padres got 3 runs and 9 hits off him. Seth Smith, as we mentioned, 3 for 3, and Freeman 3 for 4, the batting leaders for each side. Tommy LaStella, the rookie second baseman, is 2 for 3, a couple of singles. Lined out to center, the other out, and walked. $33,820 at Turner Field in Atlanta. Enjoying game 2 of this 4-game series.
Nick looks sharp, doesn't he?
He really does. A pitch away from striking out the side.
He's got that slider working. He's got that cut fastball working. He's pounding the zone. It's good to see.
Freddie Freeman, with those 3 hits, is on deck. Line to left for a base hit. Not hit that hard, but punched successfully the opposite way, and LaStella a 3-hit night. Nice to be able to hit in front of Freeman and Upton.
Good point.
11th hit of the night for the Braves as a team, and Freeman has 3 of them, and so does LaStella there at first base. The shift is on. Nelson moves over from third base to play nearest second as they stack up the right side. Solarte into shallow right field. AMARISTA stays on the shortstop side. Good cut. Sign of an outstanding hitter when they look good even when they swing and miss.
Yep.
Looks as if he's on his way to another 25 home run, 100 RBI year. Last year hit .319 with 23 homers, 109 runs batted in. Named by his teammates the most valuable player. That'll be foul. 1-2.
Well, stay tuned after this one when the Padres come back and beat the Braves. Padres Live post-game show. Going to hear from manager Bud Black. Going to break down this game, talk about the come from behind victory, and everything else going around Major League Baseball. Padres Live, the Emmy Award-winning postgame show right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Ground ball into shallow right field, so the shift works. They just do get the put out. Solarte to the first baseman Alonso. To the ninth. Padres need 2 to tie. This was on the last game of the Miami series, a wild pitch on the strikeout. And this wild pitch moved, I think it was Ozuna. Yes, Ozuna to second base. And Saltalamacchia delivers a base hit. And Miami beat the Braves and took 3 out of 4 in the series. You know, Kimbrel doesn't blow many. 0-2. ERA 1.99. Batter's hitting only 138 against him. 30 saves.
Yeah, and he's basically a 2-pitch pitcher. Fastball, curveball. Fastball get up around 100 miles an hour, and it's not just your ordinary curveball. It's almost like a power slurve coming at you.
So they start their ace, Julio Teheran, and they try to finish with their star reliever, Craig Kimbrel. Chris Denorfia pinch hits for Vincent. Ball 1. Only 97 miles an hour. '97 again. Most career saves just since 2011, 168, way in front of Papelbon,
wow.
Nathan, Rodney, and Johnson.
Yeah, that's impressive.
League of your own. Denorfia is a fastball hitter, but he can't catch up. 3 straight 97 miles an hour. Despagne despondent with his performance tonight. Two and two. You see the 2 pitches for strikes were up out of the strike zone. Really tough to catch up with that fastball when it's up there.
You're right. Get that top hand, try to square it up. A lot of pitches that you work underneath, and therefore you get the high pop fly in the infield.
And then he goes to the breaking ball, that slurve. Yep. 1 away.
Here it comes. You got the 97 to 100 mile an hour fastball. Then you have to adjust to that power slurve, as Dick mentioned. That's why he's so tough.
69 strikeouts in 41 innings now. AMARISTA 0 for 4. Lined out, grounded out twice, and struck out. Lays off the high fastball. Very consistent, isn't he, at 97?
Yep.
Padre dugout got their heads in the game, hoping that AMARISTA can get aboard. Does foul one off.
Hey, remember, the Padres have gotten to guys like Chapman, too. Remember? Aroldis Chapman throws around 100 miles an hour.
That was 98, that one.
Yeah, they've got to Kenley Jansen earlier in the season. Challenge? Absolutely. Can you get to him? You bet.
Two and two. Solarte next. Padres need to get him on, get around to Seth Smith.
Craig Kimbrell gets in that loaded like he's a crab getting ready to go in for the pinch.
Goes to the breaking ball. Same formula that he used to strike out Denorfia. 2 away. So it's up to Solarte to keep it alive.
Watch him get on top of it, spin it, work around it, out of the hand. See that motion getting on it? And that's the power slurve grip. Down into the dirt. Can't get hurt there. He gets the strikeout.
Solarte on base 3 times tonight after he struck out 2 singles, an RBI hit, and a walk. 99. And down to the final strike of the Padres. A game that they will rue for that 4th inning where they beat themselves. That last pitch was 100 miles an hour. Strikes out the side. The Braves win it 5-3. That's our final. Padres Live coming up. Mike Pomerantz in San Diego.